Perhaps we need some outside universal threat to make us recognize this common bound. I occasionally think how quickly our differences worldwide would vanish if we were facing an alien threat from outside this world.
Good evening and welcome to Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Thank you very much for joining us as we got a great show. The problem is we don't know where Science Bob is. Don't know where he went. I think the aliens may have got Science Bob. So Science Bob knows this is his night. He knows the show is there, so hopefully nothing bad has happened. Okay, I hope not. Tim Senor. Not Tim Senor. Timmy James. Too many Tims in my life. Change your name. Okay. Tim James is going to join us tonight. I did book Tim Senor for a show. That's why it's on my mind. All right. So let's just roll. We're going to have a show. Got to have a show. There is no saying no to a show. So let's say hello to each and every one of you. Shall we? Where are we here? There we are. Kitty Caddywhack in the gold medal position. Another silver for Race Fan. Eternity Eternal with a bronze. You have to know that the silver medal is just killing Race Fan right now. Absolutely killing him. All right. Jerens Carter, how are you? Robert Lamoth, Paramarv, how you guys doing? Wee Runa is here. Wee Runa will be signing autographs after the show. Line up to the left of the studio, if you don't mind. To the left of the studio. Fapparoonie, what's going on? Exquisite Cringe. Yeah, I think I got your last name right this time. How you doing? Good to have you back. Mel WD40 is here lubing us up for tonight's show because anytime Mel is here, you want to go into a show nice and smooth. You don't want any of that rigidness. It's never comfortable when it's dry and rigid. You just don't want that, especially when your show is dry. It's terrible. You need that lube. You need it. All right, moving on down. Fast Hemi, how are you? Steve Garza, what's going on, my friend? And let's see here. T-Bone, my man, how you doing? Scrolling on down here. If I sound a little preoccupied, it's because it's 0-0 late in the third. Ginger Turtle, how you doing? Been a while. Chris Teen, how you doing? And number 31 in your program, starting in net tonight from Stockholm, Sweden, Lars Jonsson. There he is. Walter Kochabinski, what's going on? So we continue on with our roll call. Human Carl is here, a great veteran of the United States Air Force. We love you, Human Carl. Thank you very much for your service. Road Flare, what's going on, my man? Operation Shutdown. Good to see you. Thomas Rock, good to have you here. As we continue on with our roll call here tonight, Noble Patrick, thanks for coming on in the studio. Bellenia, my man, nice to have you both here. I can't ask Bob anything tonight because he's not here. It's true. Hard to ask Bob a question when he's not here. Zen1, how's it going? Algaray over on Twitch, 1,400 jumping jacks in 3 minutes. He's just lightning fast. All right. Bob Thorson is here. Bob Thorson will be signing autographs after the show as well. Line up to the right of the studio, if you don't mind. To the right of the studio. Tim Mothman and his goatee. Good to have you here. Doug Shelby is here. The Doug Shelby has arrived, which means we can officially start this show. Undead Jed. Little Timmy Senor's in the chat room. Ozzy, how you doing? And Rocket Rory, good to see you. Pam Harris, thanks for coming on in. Let's get the radio side going before I forget. Hello and welcome to the radio and podcast side of Spaced Out Radio tonight. My name is Dave Scott. Good to have you all with us as we get ready for just some banter on the show tonight with Tim James. And thank you for coming on in. And Marty Burback, how are you? Tim, thanks for kicking off the super chat tonight. Do me a favor, throw those hordes up. Let's rock.
Taking control, shoveling every hole. Predators taking your soul, watching you and watching me. We're all connected but separated, misunderstood, so frustrated. A million armies of one have invaded, watching you and watching me. We live behind glass. Act like nothing's wrong. Soon we'll be wrong.
Spaced Out Radio Show and on
I know you're out there somewhere.
We got 2 hours. 3 hours. We're just going to banter UFOs, cryptids, monsters, our investigation. It's going to be a lot of fun tonight. Hour 3, of course, we will have Swamp Dweller. Then Tim will put on his other hat and go with the UFO report. So it is a busy night. So tonight we were scheduled to have Dr. Bob McGwier, a.k.a. Science Bob. We're hoping nothing bad happened. You know, the reason why is he usually gets back to me. He's usually pretty tart about that.
Mm-hmm.
Never get to use the word tart on this show.
Tart.
So here we are. Can't stop. Got to do a show. So here we are. So joining us tonight, little Timmy James. Yeah, there he is. Right there. Tim, how are you?
I'm good. Excellent.
We're going to get into a few different topics tonight because you know what? We're flying by the seat of our pants.
Yes, we are.
And, you know, we rely very heavily on our guests showing up. We do. And sometimes just things happen where we just have no control. And this is one of those times. And gosh, I hope Bob is okay.
Yeah, so do I. That's kind of disturbing and unusual that he's not at least answering. And yeah, crossing our fingers.
Yeah, no kidding. I'll be honest with you. I'm a little worried.
Yeah.
So Science Bob, if you're out there, make sure you check in with us and just say, hey, what's going on? I probably won't hear from him until tomorrow morning.
Right.
You know, but hopefully everything is okay. We're going to talk some monsters right off the bat here because one of the things that we are going to get into starting this weekend is we are going to be going back to a very ominous place. Now, a lot of people have heard us talk about Flight 21 over the past long time on this show now.
Right.
Okay. But this is going to be really your first time getting in on an investigation, getting in on the research side of things. So for people listening for the first time who may not know what Flight 21 is, it is an area in British Columbia, right in the middle of the forest. There is nothing around. There's no cell phone towers. There's no cell phone signal. There's no power lines. There's no pipelines. There is nothing but trees and dense forest. And on July 8th, 1965, a plane crash occurred over BC, British Columbia, for those of you who don't know the abbreviation. And that is about 30 miles for our American listeners, 30 miles from where SOR headquarters is, about 45 kilometers from here.
Yep.
And on that fateful day, the one thing the Royal Canadian Mounted Police do know is there was a bomb on board that plane, and it exploded in midair. And to this day, it is Canada's largest unsolved mass unaliving, because we can't use the word murder on YouTube. Mass unaliving.
Heaven forbid.
Right? Heaven forbid if we talk English. Right? Because people have to, I don't get it. I wish somebody could explain that to me. But what we're going to be doing is we're going into this area. Okay, 52 people lost their lives that day. Here's what my theory is going into this. Okay. My theory is the crash was the cause. What was the effect? The effect is everything that is happening around that place. So for people who need to have a picture painted for them, in 1965, where this plane crashed, there were no roads out there.
No.
They literally, in order to get to the crash site that they could find at that time only by helicopter and airplane, they had to take bulldozers and every type of heavy machinery to knock down trees and build roads in order to get out there. Now, you fast forward to 2025, in the last number of years, there's logging roads all over the place in that area. But during this time, there was nothing. They hadn't even started harvesting that area for forestry. So it caused a forest fire. So even if there were survivors after the fall from about 10,000 feet, they did not make it because of the forest fire. So all 52 people perished on that horrible day. It is still an open case by the Royal Canadian Mounted Police because they have 4 suspects, but they don't know who because they're all deceased. Will this case ever get solved? I don't know. I don't know. But this is what I do know. It is one of the scariest places I've ever been. And we have investigated this place since 2020, or pardon me, 2018. 2020 is when I put up the gifting site.
Right.
And we've done a couple of investigations with Merle, Samantha Mowat, and others regarding this. And in a couple weeks, I'm going to have Tim Senor on the show. Tim Senor was our director the first year we went up there. He hasn't been the same since. This is going on 1.5 years, almost 2 years. He has not been the same since because of what he experienced up there. And he finally admitted that to me just the other day.
Wow.
And I decided, Tim, let's bring you, he's like, Dave, maybe I should come on the show and we could talk about this. And I said, Tim, that's a great idea. Let's do it. So we literally solidified a date for him to come on because the phenomena screwed him up there. Tim was a very, very big nuts and bolts kind of guy.
Right.
He's a UAPer through and through. He's not a UFO guy. He's a UAP guy. Okay. And I bugged the hell out of him about that, because friends don't let friends UAP.
That's right.
Yet here we are.
Right.
And then what happened at Flight 21, and I'm going to leave that a little bit of a mystery for a couple weeks here. What happened to Tim at Flight 21 to this day affects him. And we just talked about it last week.
Right.
And again the other day. So thanks, Tim, for being brave, for wanting to come on and tell that real story.
For sure.
For
sure.
So that is the history of Flight 21. And now you've been up there, what, once, twice?
I think, I can't remember, once or twice. Doesn't matter. Yeah. I've been there.
Describe the area for people.
So it is old growth. Yeah. Very old growth forest, big spruce and stuff like that. And you're driving in and it just the road in is eerie enough. It seems like you're just going through the tall stands of trees and this road's cut in the middle. But when you get up to, you've got to climb up a hill, and where the site is, and when you get up to the top of the hill, it's like a plateau, and then you get into some real old growth spruce, like huge diameters around and stuff. And the closer you get, it wasn't eerie. You could just feel energy. But the closer I got, it was like, okay, this is getting the jeebs. But when you get up in there, you know something is going on. I think everybody may feel it differently, but I know that when I got up there, there's twisted wreckage, there's old seat frames from the plane, there's people have got little, bless yous and stuff, and little memorials up on the tree near, or one of the trees near the crash. But walking around up in there, it's a mixed emotion. I felt sad, and then I felt kind of alone, and then I felt like I was being watched. And then, yeah, it's a different energy, and it's coming at you from all different angles. But boy, oh boy, and the birds. I know I've said it 100 times, but no birds. It's incredible, and definitely grizzly country. So you got your eyes in the back of your head swiveling around and making sure that everything's clear. But yeah, it's old growth, and I can just imagine what it must have been like to try to get in there at that time. Like, I don't even know how long it took them, the rescue parties and
apparently it took 5 days.
That makes sense, because us getting in there now, like you said, with all the logging roads and stuff, much easier. But regardless, getting into that area, it's beautiful though. Like, I mean, it's just beautiful forest, but it's just got a bad feeling.
One of the things that you just mentioned is, if you're driving the main logging road,
right,
you'll drive right past the path.
Oh yeah.
If you don't know it's there. They've tried marking it with rocks, and now the ATV club has put signs up there, which I wish they wouldn't, because we really don't need a bunch of tourists going into that area. Not just to be selfish for our sake, okay, but sometimes the wrong tourists go in.
Sure.
They take things, they mess around with things. Okay, we don't need a bunch of hooligan kids going in there, spray painting things up.
Right.
This is why as humans sometimes we can't have good things. Not saying that this is a good thing.
No.
But it's a memorial for a reason.
Yeah.
Those parts are there to celebrate the life of the 52 people that perished.
For sure.
And, I'm not saying I've thought about vandalism by taking down the signs, but I don't like them being there.
No, and I agree with you. I think that was my main concern. It's, you get too many people in there, and it just becomes, people start picking away. Well, what's this little piece of metal going to be? I just stick it in my pocket. Everybody does it, and they destroy it, right? So, but the kids, I mean, have fun. I was a kid, but there's certain places that you just don't want to advertise, and I get that. Makes total sense.
But the trail going in, I never talk about the trail going in. It's about 3 miles?
Yeah.
3.5 miles of bumpy, curvy trail. It's not a road.
No.
It is a trail. Like a goat trail that is wide enough for a Jeep.
It's about
Trying to get a truck in there, you're going to scratch the living daylights out of your truck.
For sure.
Right? But that trail is scary, because literally the minute the trail starts very open and wide, and then it narrows down like a martini glass. And that's the way it is until you get to the ending point, where you have to drive into the gully, and then you have to go in 4 low to get up there.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not in an ATV or a side-by-side or a motorcycle, like dirt bike, you need 4 low in order to get up there.
Yeah.
And that trail, I always have a fear on that trail that I'm going to be driving that trail one day, and all of a sudden a tree is going to fall right in front of me.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, we moved a couple out of the way when we were in there last time.
Yeah, we did.
And it's just, I can understand that. But the other thing that freaks me out going down there is, like you say, it narrows out. And how would you put it? The forest isn't thick through there. it's got those, like I say, those big spruces, but you can see in between the spruces sort of, and it feels like, your head's looking around, and I just got the creeps a little bit because it was like, you're looking at, did I see something go behind that tree? And I mean, your imagination, and I'm not talking about Sasquatch or anything like that, but it just gives you that lead in into that area. It just gets more eerie as you get closer. And yeah, I noticed, I was like, yeah, you just feel like you're alone, but you're not. Like you're out there by yourself, but there's something out there with you.
Yeah, it feels like you have eyes on you.
Exactly.
That entire, like, it's like when you're driving down that trail and it's tight. You don't know if a bear is all of a sudden going to run into your vehicle,
right?
Or if a mountain lion is going to cross in front of you, or a big moose, or Sasquatch is going to drop a tree right there. And it is an area where you do have to be safe.
Yes.
Okay. And that trail is just the start of it. Like, there is no easy route. There is nothing easy about this place.
No.
And the sad part about it, I don't even want to say this.
Okay.
Samantha wants to go back camping.
Oh, right.
And Merle wants to join. Guess who's being dragged along?
Me.
Well, you're going to be there. I'm being dragged along.
Oh, sorry.
So,
yeah.
In our little trio of Samantha Mowat, myself, and Merle,
right,
we do something very democratic.
We vote.
2 against 1 wins.
Uh-huh.
Okay. 2 against 1 wins. I have to go with what my team says.
Oh, of course.
So apparently we're going back out and we're going camping. And I can say this, and I don't want to do it. I really don't. This place scares me.
Sure.
Okay. And so when we come out of the trail, we go up the hill.
Yes.
Then it kind of veers off to go up a little bit higher, or you go straight through to another trail.
Right.
It's narrow. It's thick bush.
Up there, yeah.
Do you find it claustrophobic?
I do when I get off, but when you come up the hill, and if you go to the right, I found that to be dense. Or if you go farther to the back of the area, it seems to get really, really thick and makes you feel claustrophobic. But if you get farther away, I guess, to the left of the crash, I feel better out there because you seem to have a little more room to move. But yeah, I do kind of feel a little bit claustrophobic up there, but not too bad. Now you've said something, I'm going to go up there and go, geez, I can't breathe.
Well, it is an area, okay, where you have to be on alert.
Yeah.
You cannot keep your guard down there because the energy up there is dead. And what I mean by that is, people, when you go into a trees, like when I went into the forest this past weekend to our other Sasquatch site, first thing I heard was birds flying around.
Yeah.
Saw birds flying around.
Yep.
This area, you hear the birds off in the distance. You do not see birds around the crash site.
And the funny thing was that I noticed last time, sorry to interrupt you, but the last time, which totally surprised me, no ravens. And that is raven territory. I was like, okay, not even a raven. They'll fly into anything. So yeah, it's weird. It's like there's a big bubble or dome over it, and it's just keeping everything out except for us, obviously. But yeah, and the mosquitoes. Lots of mosquitoes.
Oh, the mosquitoes are horrible. By the way, we need to pick up some
bug dope.
Bug dope, yeah.
I got some.
Oh, good.
In the truck.
Good. But the point that I'm getting at is, as we paint this picture of what it truly is, it's not an inviting place.
No.
The energy that you pick up there is that things are always watching you. It feels like a dead place. There's no sound except off in the distance. You may hear cattle, you may hear vehicles driving by in the distance, but you are all alone. You really are all alone. And the fact that you don't hear, one thing, you're more nature oriented than I am. I'm
Okay.
learning still.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. But the one thing that I noticed about that, besides the birds, nature's security alarm is not around.
No.
There are no squirrels.
Nope.
There are no chipmunks
Nope.
to tip off all the other animals that you're there.
Yeah. You could easily let your mind run away with you for sure. But in saying that, I think you might have good reason when you get up in there, because you're exactly right. The isolation up there, you just feel like you're in the middle of nowhere. And yeah, it is. I wasn't not disturbing, but you definitely know that this is an area that has it's got different energy coming from different directions. And for whatever reason, every other animal, I don't know about bears and stuff up in there, but every other bird, flying critter, nothing.
You can't go, and people need to understand, you cannot go a place in this forest that when you're in a quiet zone, deer come out.
Right, exactly.
There are no deer there.
Nope. And what gets me is the spot when you come up the hill and you get into the open area, and it's the spot behind it where that big old tree's falling down in the back there. It's like, I don't know if I want to go back there. I didn't like that. And I'm okay in the bush. But yeah, there was something that just said, yeah, mind your own business.
Well, that's a good point.
Mm-hmm.
That tree, I remember when I first started going there, that tree, which is probably 120 feet tall.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
Like you could stand 3 people around it and still not touch hands.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It was that big.
Yep.
And to see that sucker on the ground, that was must have been one hell of a windstorm.
Oh yeah, I can imagine,
because it got rooted. It got rooted.
Mm-hmm.
But the reason why we're bringing this up is Tim and I are starting a 2 to 3 year investigation where we are going to be out there almost every Saturday night now that the snow is melted, and we will go until the snow starts to fall. And the purpose of us going there is because, well, I convinced him.
Yeah.
I've been haunted by this location since November. You guys have heard me talk about it. It's not a comfortable feeling.
Right.
And so what I did was I said, I'm going to allow the phenomena to dictate what is going on. Because there's no reason for this place to haunt me. Even though it scares me, it doesn't haunt me. It shouldn't haunt me. Yet it has been. It's been calling me back. And I remember about 7 years ago, I had Nelson Dellis on this show. Still one of my favorite interviews ever. The gentleman is a 6-time United States memory champion.
Oh, wow.
Guy's brilliant. Very much into remote viewing now. I got to get him back.
Okay.
And when he failed on Everest, he's 0 for 4 in summiting Everest. He's never going back because he's got a family now.
Sure, of
children, and a beautiful wife. But for years, he gets haunted by Everest calling his name.
Wow.
And that is what was happening to me. It wasn't calling my name, but it was showing me pictures. It's time to come back. Where are you, Dave? It's time to come back. That's creepy. That is creepy. I don't like that feeling. Don't like it at all. We're going to go to break right now. Tim, James, and myself talking about our adventure. We're going to overtime 0-0.
No way, really? Wow.
Oh, my God. I don't know if Dave Sticker can handle this tonight.
All right, Edmonton,
All
top
right.
left, top left.
I
top
am
left.
so behind on the names here, so let me just race through these. Standing Stones, how are you? Noble Patrick, I did get to meet Kunbo. We're going to bring him on the show here. I want to do a 2-nighter with him, back-to-back nights. One to talk about his NASA work,
right,
and UFOs. The other one to talk about Dogman and the LBL.
Ooh.
Oh, it's going to be good. It's going to be sexy good. Oh, yeah. Let's see here. Digger Dog, how are you doing? And Tim Senor says, I'm never going back to Flight 21. We'll see about that, Timmy. Kathy Evans, how are you? T-Bone, my man, thank you for that great super chat. Appreciate the love and support, my man. Seymour, how are you tonight? Don't worry, Tim Senor. The other Tim here, right there. How you doing?
Good, man.
He's going to bring his RV trailer there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be off the beaten path, down about a couple miles.
Yeah,
because there's a pull out there right by the gravel.
Yeah.
That's where we're going to set up main camp.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, because I don't want to stay there.
Well, no, and that's okay.
I don't.
You know what? Trust your gut, man. And I got a 28-foot trailer that can sleep 6 people. So I'll hook it up to the truck, and yeah, we'll have a base to work out of, and something you can lock a door. And
it just seems so much safer.
Yeah,
what would be interesting is if the Sasquatch actually followed us there.
Back to the trailer?
It's a good experiment.
Sure it is.
I really think that we should probably put trail cams up there.
Yeah.
Like up on the hill.
That'd work.
Jeremy Jones, Kurt M. Good to see you guys. Joe Monk. When Dave drives the second bald guy named Tim insane there, he's going to invite Mothman to go to the site. We never seem to run out of bald guys named Tim.
Well, what can I say?
That is funny, though.
Is it? Oh.
Hillbilly Herb, how are you? Apparently, according to Jeremy Jones, Dave's farts keep the bugs away.
Well,
no, keep the Tims away, though.
That's right.
Well, let's see here.
Jesus.
Oh, man. Walter, thank you for the super chat, my man. Let's see. Noble Patrick, thank you. I did meet Kumbo. Yes. Jmua04. I don't know where Science Bob is, but thank you for coming and joining our chat room tonight, Jmua4. Jeff Steve Garvey's here. He'll hit a home run for you. He will.
Excellent.
I know I'm not a Leafs fan. Never been a Leafs fan. Never will. Super Knower, how are you doing? Flat 6, good to see you. I'm almost caught up.
Nice.
Dave, are you being a sourpuss? No. No, I just have a healthy respect for this place.
No doubt.
Kevin Kennedy, how are you? Joe Ferreira, how are you? From Brazil. It's always good to see you, my man.
Right on.
We're caught up, finally. Finally caught up. Overtime. Oh, 0-0.
We'll be right back after the game is won. It's okay. Just breathe, man.
Gorgeous Kim Jellin, the best teeth in SOR land right there.
Okay.
Great teeth. You can tell she brushes and flosses daily. She's probably flossing right now, to be blunt.
Oh. Perfect time to do it. Mount Shasta. Been there. Hey, Filth.
All right, we're coming back here right now. I want to remind all of you that, our show is always free. It is. You can watch the archives for free on YouTube or listen to them on any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Tim James is here, filling in for literally a missing Science Bob McGwier.
Mm-hmm.
This is why I love you in studio, my man. Thank you for being here. And we're talking about our new adventure.
Yes.
And one of the things I want to start off with here,
Mm-hmm.
because we have hyped this up so much, I want everybody to know that we are going to be putting out videos on this.
Mm-hmm.
So everybody is going to get a chance to see what we are doing.
Cool.
And what the area looks like, how thick the forest is, where previous incidents have happened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And we're going to take you through that on a storytelling phase very clearly over the next few weeks on our YouTube channel, Spaced Out Radio. And Tim, you came up with that idea. I said we needed to film it, but
yeah,
I mean, you came up with the idea that we really need to bring this out to the public rather than just talk about it. Let's show them.
Yeah, absolutely. You and I think we talked about it quite a bit, and then on the plane to Vegas and back while we were in Vegas. But yeah, we figured that for all the SOR loving fans out there, that instead of keeping it in our back pockets and just talking about it, that we would give you guys glimpses into what we're doing, what we see, if we see anything, and what the area is like. Because if you haven't been there, I think obviously taking the audience with us and letting you see what's going on is super important. And this way too, like I say, it just doesn't sit in the back pocket and you hear us talking about it. You can actually see stuff that's going on, and probably start our own little I don't even know what you call it, but we'll start a program that's just about that. It'll be on the SOR, so we'll just keep adding to it. But yeah, we figured that it'd be a great idea to bring everybody with us and check it on out, and looking forward to it. I think it's going to be good. And if what we experience, you guys may experience by watching it.
Right. And the other thing that I want to point out to our listeners
Mm-hmm.
is if you go on our YouTube channel
Mm-hmm.
and you see something, let us know.
Yeah.
In the comments on the YouTube side, let us know, because we definitely want to be doing this. Tim is going to be rushing through the editing.
Yeah.
Okay. Like, we're going to try and put as much raw footage up there as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Now, obviously, there's certain things that we're not going to put on there because it's just going to be way too boring. Us sitting there staring at the trees.
Yeah.
But if something happens, we're going to highlight that.
Mm-hmm.
But there may be times where things happen that we don't see, that you guys may see. So it's imperative, whether you're listening in on our YouTube side, our social media side,
Mm-hmm.
or on radio,
Right.
take the time to go to our YouTube channel, hit subscribe. We will tell you when the videos are going up.
Yeah.
And we will premiere them.
Yeah. For
So
sure.
that way people can look. And they're not going to be edited as a point that it looks like a television show.
No.
Everything is going to be raw.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you're going to hear us speaking. If something scares us and we swear, you're going to hear it.
That's right.
You're going to hear absolutely everything that is going on.
Mm-hmm.
And see everything like we are looking at it too. But if you find something
That's right.
that we don't catch or that we have missed, I want you to tell us about it.
Yes.
That way we can investigate it, not only on the video, but we can also go back the following week and try and replicate what was going on.
Exactly.
This is an area where things can sneak up on you and you don't even know. And I asked Samantha Mowat the other night. I was talking to Samantha about it.
Right.
And I said to Samantha, I don't feel the phenomena won't tell me if I'm safe or not.
Hey.
And Samantha has stated, I'm not safe. She goes, but I don't think it's the phenomena. She goes, I'm more concerned about animals.
That time of year,
they are moving.
Things are waking up.
They are absolutely moving. And so that is a big concern. The animals out there.
Yeah.
Tell us about them.
Oh my goodness. Okay. So right now, and I think just about everywhere, coyotes, it's mating season for them. So they become stupid and brave. I mean, I'm not overly concerned with those, but cougars are out. And we're talking about the ones that climb trees that are actual cats. They're out there. Grizzlies, they're coming up or coming down out of the hills and looking for food. Mamas and their baby cubs, either grizzlies or black bears, are out there and they're wandering around, and the cubs are little tiny ones. And yeah, so it is, and wolves, lots of wolves up in there as well. So a lot of animals moving around up in that area. And it'll be interesting. I mean, I wouldn't want to run into any of the grizzlies because they're grizzlies, but the other stuff up there, yeah, you've got to have your head on a swivel. You've got to come prepared. You're in the bush, you're in the forest, you're in the middle of nowhere. So yeah, we've got to be very cautious because yeah, none of us want to get hurt up there. And
being the outdoorsman that you are, you've been an outdoorsman for, I mean, you're what, 89 years old?
87.
Okay, 87 years old. So pretty much the last 78 years,
yeah.
You've been an outdoorsman.
Yeah.
What do we need to listen for? What do we need to be having our senses on the lookout for?
Well, normally, like you had said earlier, normally we've got the alarm system, and you've got the chipmunks and the squirrels that are either giving us heck or, giving something else heck that's walking through. I would say there's lots of things that go snap and crack and pop in the bush, but hang on a second. We interrupt this important message for Dave to go crazy. It's okay. So yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And the thing is what we have to be careful of is we have to listen for, anything that's out of the ordinary. I mean, it's hard to explain if you haven't been out in the bush. Listen for stuff. Smells are huge, right? You can usually smell them. You can smell an old rank grizzly or an old rank black bear. And babes always call, right? The little bears and stuff like that. The cubs will be screeching and moaning and groaning. But I'm also thinking, like we've said, because the area is so so wound up in energy, I would say that we really have to listen carefully because there's nothing up there. So I think when anything makes a sound, it's, spidey senses will be tingling, right? So yeah, I think we just have to be very, very careful and look for signs. I mean, obviously when we're walking through, you can tell if there's been a bear routing through something up there, or, watch and always look up. Nobody looks up into the trees, right? Nobody looks up into the trees.
No, because you're looking down, trying to find the footprints, trying to watch the bushes. It's very difficult to have one eye looking up and one eye looking down at the same time.
Yeah.
I haven't quite figured that out
yet. I don't know either. Yeah, especially like you say, you got the cougars up there, mountain lions, and they'll sit up in those trees. And I've actually been in the forest and walked through and seen them in the tree, or seen one in a tree. Not like there's a group of them, but yeah, you look up and you go, holy crap, that is one big cat and just laying up there staring at you. So yeah, we will have to be watching out for all sorts of animals. Wild horses, well, we'll hear them coming from a mile away. But
well, yeah, the bigger the animal, the more noise it's going to make.
Yeah. Not too worried about the moose. They're just all dopey and they're like big donkeys right now. There's nothing going on for them. But yeah, like I say, bears for sure. Coyotes, yeah. And
The wolf packs.
Wolf packs. Yeah. And they're silent. You ever been stalked by a wolf?
No.
I have.
What's that like?
That's trippy. Really trippy. Because the only way I caught this was my buddy Carrie and I were out deer hunting. And we got up in the morning, wandered down this cut into this area where down by the water. And we thought, okay, we're going to get down there and see if there's anything moving around. The only reason I knew that there was a wolf is because I was facing to the west and I just happened to kind of look over to the south a bit and something whipped by the corner of my eye. And when I spun around, there was nothing there. And when I looked back to the west, wolf standing on a rock in front of me, maybe 70, 80 feet in front of me. And then when I turned to look back, all the rest of them just appeared. There was probably, I think, about 7 of them. And all of a sudden, these faces start popping out from in the trees. Yeah, it's like they just come up out of nowhere. And I was like, holy. And I mean, had my pointy stick and my buddy had his pointy stick. But yeah, it was the eeriest sight that I've ever seen with them just coming up out of nowhere. It's like they're appearing like somebody's just like magic. It was incredible. So yeah, those buggers are dangerous as heck.
Oh man.
And smart.
Oh yeah, they have no problem.
Mm-mm.
They have no problem stalking you.
Nope.
It is not a very comfortable feeling being stalked.
No. I've been stalked by grizzly, and I've been stalked by wolf. Don't think I've ever been stalked by any sort of a cat, but yeah, the bear thing, the being stalked by a grizzly, that is weird. That's super weird because you keep turning around and you're hearing them and you can't see them. And if it's in the fall, the orange on all the cottonwood leaves or on the cottonwood trees, and they'll stand in that orange and they're the same colors as all those leaves that are dying out. Yeah.
Not fun.
Nope.
Not fun. What do you expect to happen?
I'm thinking that when we get up there, I'm definitely not thinking the worst, but I mean, I'll be prepared for the worst when it comes to the animals. But with everything else, there's a reason you're being called back there, obviously. And I'm obviously, you invited me and I want to be part of that. So that's perfect. I'm really excited about doing that. But I think that you are going to get what you didn't expect, but I expect something to happen, if that makes any sense. I can't put my finger on it. I don't know what it is. Like I say, the energy and stuff up there just kind of is all over the map. And it's, obviously from your last trip up there with Merle and Samantha and Mark, it's like, okay, whole can of worms got opened up there. So I'm not sure what to expect, but I'm expecting something.
I don't know what to expect either. I really don't. I mean, because it's always so different.
Well, you did say dog man, and I was like, dude, really?
I know.
I was like, okay. I don't know if I'm ready for that or Shark Man. I'm not ready for either of those.
I'm not ready for Shark Man. Definitely not. Normally, we don't take questions till hour 2, but I do have a couple questions.
Yeah.
Noble Patrick says, you're going to talk yourselves out from going.
Nope.
No.
I appreciate it. I know what you're saying. I totally get it, but not a chance. I'd even stay overnight in the tent.
You would?
I'd do it just to make sure that you were okay, buddy.
Oh, I'd be okay.
Yeah, because you'd be in my sleeping bag.
No. I have the ultimate weapon out there. And the ultimate weapon is my snoring.
Oh, well, yeah, me too, I guess.
Yeah. My snoring, for sure. All right. Joe is asked, pair of questions coming from Joe.
Cool.
Are you guys going to be wearing personal trackers for when you disappear and the search party is looking for you?
No, they just follow the poop trail. That's all. They'll find us.
I want to say this though. We do have security in place.
Yeah.
So when we go out in the forest, one thing that we do is that we tell people, numerous people, not just one or two, numerous people where we are going, and that if we don't report back by a certain time, and that is the only location we are going.
Yes.
And if we don't report back by a certain time, so for instance, if we plan on leaving at midnight, if we're not home by 3,
yeah,
okay,
something's wrong.
Something's wrong.
Yeah.
Okay, and maybe it's time to call the authorities.
Yes, for sure.
That's the way it is. So you always set up the security blankets because we are not leaving. The other thing that I always do is, because there is nobody out there, I always have my doors unlocked on the vehicle.
Yeah.
And the keys in the ignition. You know, that way, if you got to abandon everything and hop in and get the hell out of Dodge,
yeah,
we could do that immediately. And that way, there's no fumbling with the keys. There's no worry, you know, and oh my God, like, which key is it? Because, you know,
it's like one of those 70s horror movies. Oh my gosh.
Exactly. You know, and so you take as much safety precaution with just 2 of us. We're not, and us being alone, we're not going to be wandering around the trails. We're not splitting up.
No,
it's not one of these, you know,
I'll meet you back in a
Scooby-Doo type things where you take that trail, I'll take that trail. That's where people go missing.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
That's where the weird David Paulides stuff happens. And so everything is about safety first.
Yes.
You know, we're carrying a bunch of medical gear in case anything happens, from nail clippers to bandages, and all sorts of good stuff to make sure that you're safe. We're carrying fire starter. There will be blankets. There will be tarps in case we get caught up. You know, you have to be safe.
Yeah, definitely.
You know,
definitely.
And I can tell you right now, if I have a dog man right in front of me, there may be damage to my front of my vehicle.
Yeah, I can imagine. I would hope so.
Yeah, I'm not going to stop.
No.
You know, and just, oh, hi.
Whoops, hang on.
What's going on? But no, it is about safety first. And, and, you know, in my opinion, even wandering off 10, 15 feet is dangerous.
It can be.
Right?
It can definitely be dangerous. No question.
That 10 to 15 feet, that's enough for a mountain lion to jump out at you. It's enough for a bear to charge at you. It's enough for Sasquatch. Like, if you're the person behind, who says that a Sasquatch doesn't grab you and take you into the forest, make sweet love to you while your friend is wandering or in front of you, having a conversation.
Yeah, we're Dave.
Don't need that happening.
No,
don't need that happening at all.
No,
you know, but you do have to be careful. And of course, safety is the number one priority.
Yeah,
and I think I have learned enough about the forest now over the last 3-4 years that I've been paying attention to it, that I have a much more comfortability with how to react to situations. And the other thing too, we do want to remind people, we will have pointy sticks with us.
Yes.
Yes. Yeah. We reloaded today.
And the thing is too, is we're going to start off nice and slow and quiet. All right. It's just we're in no rush to get through this. We're going to let it, well, as Dave said, we're going to let it happen. So yeah, us starting off and just familiarizing ourselves with the sounds and the smells and stuff and getting back into it, I think that'll help too, instead of just charging into it all willy-nilly. Right. Yeah.
And we're going to be allowing the phenomena to dictate what happens. So for instance, I know, leading up to this, and I've told Tim this, the phenomena really wants us to, the fire alarm's going off.
Yep.
I don't know if you can hear it in the background, but there's a fire hall about a good par 500 yards away.
That's about it.
Right. It's definitely, you can definitely get there in 2 for the eagle putt.
Yes. 100%.
Okay, but they have one of those air raid sirens that goes off when they call the firefighters. So sometimes it will go off, and it's going off right now. So the point that I'm getting at with the safety and the area and everything, we've got that covered.
Yes.
And we're not taking any chances. The phenomena has showed me the first 6 times we are there, the only thing they want us really doing is sitting in our lawn chairs, have my vehicle pointed to the exit.
Right.
okay, and sitting behind the vehicle with you and me.
Yep.
Just sitting there.
Yep.
And I think that's actually a smart way to do it. And let me tell you why. Because if there is Sasquatch around there, I know they already know my vehicle.
Sure.
This is going to allow them in a very peaceful, curious way, because I do believe Sasquatch are curious. It is going to allow them to get to know our smell, our energy, because I do believe they pick up on the energy.
Oh, yeah.
I think we're not doing any experiments. No. We may put out some gear. We're going to put out cameras.
Yes. Oh, yeah.
We are going to have a little bit of gear out there, but we're not doing things that are going to get us to attract attention.
Exactly.
We aren't bringing a drum set to try and bang drums.
No.
We aren't playing around at nighttime unless they say stay.
Yeah. Yeah. We are visitors in their world, so to speak. And yeah, that's what we're going to do is we're going to sit politely and just let everything happen and unfold when they want to let it unfold.
And that's, I think, at our other Sasquatch spot, we've had success there.
Yep.
We've got 3 minutes. I mean, at the other Sasquatch last year, you had a sighting.
Yes. Yeah, I most certainly did. And that, again, leads to us sitting and being quiet. And we'd been there a few times. So like Dave said, the smells, the sounds, they got used to us. And yeah, I got a sort of a profile view from behind a tree of a Sasquatch. And it took me a while to kind of debate back and forth. But yes, I did see one. And again, that wasn't from us summoning or, like you say, banging drums. That was it coming to us. And I guess because, yeah, we weren't provoking or it was curious. So, yeah, I agree with that. I think that's going to be the best way to do it. And I think it's going to turn out very well. And we're going to have GoPros, and we've got a DSLR, and we got video cameras, and we got trail cams. And so we'll have the area covered. There's no question.
And the big thing is we're going to be using ourselves as bait.
Yeah.
Come see us.
Yep. I'm rubbing Dave down with bacon before we go, but
yeah. Probably lick my own skin.
No, I would too, right?
Right. But
yeah, no.
But the idea behind this is having the trust in the phenomena of what is going to happen.
Yeah.
Having the trust that everything is going to be okay. Having the trust that we're not going to have our limbs ripped off and beaten to death by our own arms. Although that would be a cool death. You imagine going up to the pearly gates, St. Peter opens up and you're carrying your arm and he's like, what happened to you? I got beaten up by a Sasquatch.
VIP, right this way.
That's right. Not everybody gets to say that.
No,
but I'll be honest with you. I don't believe in that type of danger.
No.
Is it possible? Absolutely. I'm not taking it for granted.
No.
At all, but I don't get the feeling that, all of a sudden we're going to end up in a David Paulides series.
Right.
I don't get the feeling that we're going to end up on the front page of the newspaper saying, have you seen these guys?
In the back of a milk carton. I hope not.
No, I don't see that at all. I don't have that feeling. I can tell you right now, if I had that feeling, I wouldn't go.
No. Well, good.
I wouldn't go.
Good.
Unless Samantha was there.
Yeah.
Because she, for 5'1" and 112 pounds, she's tougher than me. She is. I'm not going to lie. When we return on Spaced Out Radio, we're going to get into a little bit more Flight 21. We're also going to turn the corner on the UFO story, which will lead us into the hour 3 with the UFO report.
Yep.
We're going to take your questions too. So load up your questions. If you have questions for Tim and I, if you are in our YouTube chat or on social media watching live, this is Spaced Out Radio. My name is Dave Scott. Science Bob was supposed to be here. We can't find Science Bob. Reminds me of when they were looking for Izzy in the Don't Cry video of Guns N' Roses. Right. Where's Izzy? Where's Science Bob? But we got a show for you nonetheless. This is Spaced Out Radio.
with hopes ain't stop.
All right, we're going to turn things over to the dirty one himself. Dirty Phil, buddy, your champion of cartoons.
Yeah, I guess I do. I draw a pretty good cartoon, Dave. Thanks. Look, I seen you sneaking out there. They say they go to the washroom and everything, but basically what they're doing is they're going to feed the dog man in the backyard. That's why when they talked about dog man, they weren't too afraid about him. But yeah, here's the hello, Fast Hemi. Here's a picture of the goblin. He enjoys sour blue raspberry squishies or Slurpees, depending on where you are geographically. Thank you, Amanda's Crazy Life channel. You know what? What do you do on? I wonder what she does on her channel that makes her crazy. She probably drinks all the pickle juice before she eats the pickles. You know what, Jay Truth Seeker? I don't gotta worry about that stuff because I stay in my house. Hello, Ange. Hope you're having a good night, everybody. Hillbilly Herb said some. Andrew Gnome's trucking. Hi, Dirty. Hi, Bomber. I'll twirl my chest hair for you, Bomber. It's being twirled as we speak. Dave's probably outside. The dog man just licking the side of his face. He's going to come back with a big cow lick on the side of his dome. I'll have to call Dave from Missing 411 and be like, Dave, can you come save other Dave? He predicted his own disappearance. Oh, you know what, Amanda? The pickle juice is the best part. Can't go wrong with pickle juice. I know it's mostly just vinegar. But the secret is you got to go buy some local, like old Polish lady's pickles or something that she makes. Probably like rusty old rainwater from her back in the garden or something, and she uses that to brine everything. And yeah, gotta have that. Boost your iron as well. Most of the cryptids in my cartoon world like the enjoy the sour blue raspberry. Actually, I had a dream one time I ate some sour blue raspberry candy, and I've never been able to taste that candy in real life. Yeah. We ruin a farm. You are correct. Actually, one of my best pals, Barb. Barb, if you're listening, I love you, buddy. She's from Oju in Poland, and she's one of the coolest people. But she always makes way more food than she needs, and she gives me leftovers and junk all the time. So I've had all types of delicious Polish food made. Anyways, I appreciate you, Barb, if you're listening. If you're not, then I'll mark this time down and show you the next time we're hanging out. But yeah, anyways, rambling away here. Yeah, pickle juice is good. Predator. Oh, yes. Sensibil. That's, I should have muted my phone. I apologize. How unprofessional of me. There we go. Well, definitely Dave's not going to take me out for ice cream with that one now. Actually, Fox Vegas, K-Van that comes in the chat room, she made some pickled Komodo dragon peppers, and they were extremely tasty. And she gave me 2 jars of them. And I tried one at first, and it was really sweet to begin with. The next thing I know, my nose is getting a little bit runny, and my mouth's burny, and my belly's getting a little warm. And yeah, so it was pretty spicy for just a little guy. And then I made a grilled cheese sandwich with them. And I wouldn't say I regretted my decision, but it had some pain. So the secret is to make a poor man's hot sauce with the stuff. It's good. Apparently she's got some more spicy plants and junk, so I'll take them. I'll take as many spicy plants as possible. Anyways, rambling away about plants. Speaking of plants, since we're going to ramble about them, might as well. I've got a whole bunch of moonflowers and morning glories. Oh, I thought I turned that off. I guess I didn't. Sorry, Dave. I'm fired. I got moonflowers and morning glories and sunflowers. Those are the 3 easy things that I grow. Because I don't really have a very big plot in my backyard. If I could just dig up the front yard and the backyard and just have dirt and pile plants in there, I'd do that. Kolbaki. Oh, there comes Dave. I see him on the first security alarm. Here he is coming on the second security alarm.
Filthy, you're the best.
I try my best.
You really are. You don't have to go quiet when I say that.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know. He said it like 10 times. I'm blushing here, Dave. Did you guys feed the dog man and water him?
Yeah, pretty much. Okay. Big thank you tonight to Tim, Kitty Caddywhack ×2, T-Bone, Fast Hemi, Walter, Noble Patrick, and Blue Cruise for the great super chats. Kaysen, how are you tonight? Good to have you back. Who else has joined us here late? Put your questions in capital letters. We will get to them ASAP. And here we go. Down tonight. Mighty SOR. Want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com, we have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. McCulamancy. McCulamancy is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. All right, we have Tim James with us tonight as we are hanging on out, talking about our endeavors starting this weekend into Flight 21. Now, Tim, I have never been a researcher. I'm an enthusiast.
Yeah.
So this is very, very new for me. This is a new area, a new era for myself. This is a new territory because now we're going to have to document everything.
Yeah.
And everything is going to be on tape. How do you plan on setting up the cameras to do this location?
Okay, so I've got 3 different styles. So I've got a GoPro. The GoPro, I don't know, a lot of people may or may not know, a GoPro is good for getting that large fisheye kind of view. So for details and stuff like that, I would suggest that's definitely not the best camera, but that is, I would probably end up putting up on the top of the Jeep facing, we'll figure that out. It'll be on the top of the Jeep. So we'll get a nice big view. The Handycam, not 100% sure where I want to put that yet. DLSR, I'll use that for the video, for a video as well. I would probably suggest that we'll set that one up pointing towards trouble, so to speak, where you and the crew got kind of haunted out last time. So I would suggest that. And the Handycam, I think the Handycam, I haven't quite decided if I'm gonna just have it as a Handycam and kind of just sit quiet and document us a little bit more. But yeah, definitely the GoPro and the DLSR will be on tripods and mounted somewhere. So that's my thought on it. But that could change when we get up there and go, yeah, you know what? No, let's swap it around. So we'll see it.
The first video people are going to see, we're going to take them on a tour.
Okay, yeah, cool.
We're going to take them on a tour in between when we first get there. Hopefully the weather holds because it is calling for some very heavy rain coming up here on the weekend. But we are going to take everybody on a tour on our YouTube channel.
Yeah.
where they will be able to see what we're actually talking about.
Yeah.
The area. And what I want to do is I want to film the way in.
Oh, we can do that.
So that way people can see the trail, and we'll kind of broadcast it as we go.
Yeah.
I wish we could go live, but there's just no signal out there.
No, there's not. Yeah. Once we get it, yeah, that just adds more to the mystique. But yeah, the closer we get to it, the less signal. And then when you get in there, forget it. It's flat. But yeah, I think that's a good idea too. And yeah, let everybody have a look around and see what we're looking at for sure, and kind of get an idea, because we talk about it and you get the picture in your mind, and it's, you know, it's like when you're listening to the radio and you've already pictured what that person on the radio looks like. And then when you see them or finally meet them, you go, not even anything that I imagined. So we'll shed some light on the area for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And the other thing that we want to make sure that we do with everybody is make sure that we try and keep our public understanding what is going on.
Yeah.
I want you guys to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and that's why I said we're going to be putting out the videos on our YouTube channel and Spaced Out Radio, and hopefully it'll lead to some other things. Let me ask you, are you scared?
No. I thought about that. I think you asked me the other night, and I actually did. I thought about it, and no, I'm not scared. I'm excited to go. I don't know if I'm more excited about seeing something, but I think it's just all encompassing. I think the whole idea of being there, because I've been there, but researching what had happened to you and what's possibly out there, I'm cautiously anticipating, but I'm really looking forward to it. I'm not scared. I'm sure if I'd gone through something like you had gone through, or even Tim had gone through, I think obviously my mind would be in a different frame, but I think my energy's good. And I think that, I'm ready to rock this. I'm actually really feel honored that I'm going to be part of this and be able to help you document and research this.
Yeah, I'm hopeful that we're going to get something.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what we're going to get.
No,
I don't know what it's going to be like.
Yeah,
but we definitely will capture something.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, and even when we wander off, we will be carrying cameras with us.
Oh yeah, carrying cameras, and like we said before, pointy sticks. We will be prepared, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I really am. I'm just, because I don't know what to expect, and I think it's like, it's like a kid at Christmas, lack of a better term. I'm really wondering what's underneath the tree.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take the phenomena to react.
And I think and this is just me speculating, but I think that with you and I mean, we've hung out enough together that I think we can both relax, and I get your energy and that sort of thing. So following your lead in there, because I mean, obviously you're the person that has experienced all this stuff. I don't think it's going to take long. I really don't. I think they're whatever it is, and hopefully it's positive and non-aggressive. I think that we'll probably see something in short order.
So let's take that to another step there.
Okay.
Because we're not bringing food up. We'll bring food for us, but we're not bringing food to try and lure animals.
No.
That's a bad idea where we live.
Mm-hmm.
So I know that's come up in question in the past with everything. We're not going to bring food up. We're not going to be bringing.
We're not baiting anything.
No. No. This is just sit there and let them come to us.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I'm wondering how long it's going to take. Let's get to a question here from our audience as we continue on. We're going to start off with Joe here. Will you guys be doing a gifting site at the crash? That is possible.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
The issue that we have is we have to find an area where people are not walking around.
Yeah.
My original gifting site that I had there, I was up there one day when a family of like 6 or 7 came up there.
Oh.
And the kids were like, hey, look at all these toys at this tree.
Oh, no.
And I was like way off in the it was way off the beaten path, but they just,
Mhm.
for some reason, they decided to follow the trail.
Oh yeah.
Like, oh, look at these toys. We don't want that to happen.
No.
We know but this is a good question because we know the trails that they come in and out of.
Mhm.
There is one section that we have to try and find the trail.
Right.
Because last year, the Sasquatch that pretty much bullied us out of the area.
Yeah.
When we were filming with Mark Spender, Merle, Samantha, and Richie, our cameraman, and myself. I don't know how he got there.
Oh.
I don't know how he got there.
Okay.
We knew where the other ones were.
Yeah.
We knew the trail system they were on.
Mm-hmm.
But how this guy snuck. So if we're facing, say, 12 o'clock north.
Sure.
He was over by the crash site.
Okay.
In that area. We have no idea how he snuck around there. Did he come in from behind us and come around?
Mm-hmm.
Or did he go around because he was originally making noise at about, say, 11:55 on the clock?
Okay.
And then at 12 o'clock, and then he started moving this way towards the plane crash. I've never seen a trail in there. So I'm curious to know how he got in there.
Yeah, well, for sure. For sure. And you figured that was obviously the Sasquatch.
Yes.
Yeah, well,
That's the one that intimidated us out.
Yeah.
And I think that's the one that followed us
Mhm.
into the exit where we got whistled at.
Escorted you?
Yeah. He escorted us out, shall we say.
Well, again, how many, like, even with my experience last year, I mean, this thing just kind of disappeared. I mean, and like you and I went back in there a couple weeks later or whatever it was, and it was like, I don't know how, the same thing, like my brain went the same way. I don't know how the heck she got out of there without, tripping over all that deadfall and stuff like that. So yeah, it's interesting. And I mean, and I guess then that leads us down another path of the, is it a terrestrial being? Is it an energy being? Is it actual animal that is born in the forest like any other animal? So kind of, leads you to other questions for sure. I'm not sure, but I'd like to go back there and try to find it.
The trail system we have to figure out.
Yeah. GPS it. Right?
Yes. Yeah. That's what we will do.
Okay.
After your experience with sighting the Sasquatch last year, how much more comfortable are you seeing one up close and personal again?
I'm just saying that I feel that there wouldn't be an issue, or, I'd be excited as all get out. I think obviously they're, seeing one up close and personal would obviously make things tighten up a little bit, but I don't know if I'm afraid of it. I don't think that I'd be afraid. I think I'd be in awe and, very, very, very cautious about it. But, that may be a little bravado, right? I mean, who knows when you get into that situation, like everybody says, well, how come you didn't take a picture? Well, I had a 10-foot hairy beast standing in front of me, and I just didn't want to make any sudden movements, right? I think I'd be okay. I'm really looking forward to it. I want to see that. I think I'm 75% sure I'd be okay. Not saying it wouldn't scare me when it happened, but yeah, I'd still be okay with it.
Yeah, I think it would be very intimidating, and I don't know how the creatures are going to react to the cameras.
True.
Okay, whether they'll turn the cameras off, whether the phenomena will shut them down, whether the phenomena will make it look like orbs when something is standing right in front of us. Don't know.
Yeah, no.
We really don't know what is going on.
No.
And we're going to be having that dictated by the phenomena itself.
Yep, we're just going along with the ride.
All right, let's go to another question here. Let's go to Matthew. Do not take any stairs in the forest, please. If we find a stairwell in the forest that's just appeared out of nowhere, I'm not going up it.
What? No.
No, there will be no going up or down stairwells that have appeared in the forest.
No.
Because the rumor is when you get to the top of the stairs and you go to take the next stair wherever it is, you don't come back.
Yeah. No, I'm good.
No, definitely not doing that. Let's go over to Blue Cruz, who is asking, have you experienced any weather anomalies at the crash site?
I haven't.
Not abnormal types. I mean, last year we had weird weather last year where you would have like 2 days of sun, and then the third day you would have sun, but all of a sudden a torrential storm would come in for about 2 hours, dampen everything, and then you'd have clear skies all night again.
Yeah.
And so the weather really hasn't played any difference. There doesn't seem to be any anomalous behavior on that. But one of the things that I think maybe there is some sort of portal in the area, or portals.
Yeah.
It'd be very interesting to see if we capture anything like that. And on film, things coming in and out, whether it's UFOs or whether it's other creatures coming in and out.
Yeah.
So I find that part of the curiosity of it all. What's your thoughts?
I was just thinking about that question, because the only thing that I noticed weather-wise, because when I was up there, was it was a nice day, right? No problem. But what I found peculiar was the wind. It'd be coming from your back, and then it'd be coming from the side. I found, and I mean, I'm not trying to read, or I hope I'm not reading too much into it, but it definitely felt not ominous, but it was like strange is the best way to put it. Is, you know, you're getting the wind in your face, and then the next minute it's whipping around on your back. And I mean, and we're in the forest. It's not like we're on a clear cut, where I've experienced that, where the wind will whip all over the place. But up in there, that's what I noticed that was different for that sort of an area. So weather anomaly, if that's an anomaly, that's what I noticed pretty quick when we were up there, besides no birds and stuff.
All right, next question comes from Joe. Do you guys have a drone to take with you? We do have a drone, but neither of us are experienced. I bought my son a drone for Christmas a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
I haven't played with it enough to be very good with it, and I wouldn't want to trust it in that area. So technically, no, we do not have a drone going in with us. Let's go to Seymour here. Seems like Bigfoot is the priority. You two believe big feet sense and avoid electronic devices. And is there a solution to that? You want to take that one first, or you want me to?
Yeah, well, I don't know. Okay, I guess the best way to answer that is I don't know if they avoid electronics or not. I'd be remiss if I said anything besides I don't know. I know that some animals, and speaking from experience, is that the alkaline in the batteries will draw attention from bears. Love them. Bears love alkaline batteries. I don't know what it is, but they can smell them. Lots of animals can detect electronics, but I'm not. I would suspect they probably could, but I don't even know. No experience with that whatsoever when it comes to Bigfoot.
The weirdest thing we had happen last year was we packed 5 days worth of batteries,
right?
And they drained in that area in a day and a half.
Oh,
like we were running on fumes filming into the night. Then all of a sudden, all the battery power left. We had batteries plugged in. We had so many chargers going into my one little charging port in my very basic Jeep.
Yeah.
Okay. And we ended up blowing a lot of fuses in the Jeep. To this day, my horn still doesn't work. Right. You know, but that is something that, you know, it doesn't matter how many batteries you take up there. Sometimes the energy will just zap those batteries and, you know, they could be brand new.
Actually, yeah. Because when we were up at the not at that site, but the other Sasquatch site, that I remember that now that you said that, the flashlights, my wife's flashlight, and I think it was Dave Jr.'s flashlight. When we were out there, all of a sudden they had fresh batteries and everything in them, and theirs died. And they had to I know that my wife had to go grab more out of the truck, but yeah, maybe, don't know.
How do you fix it? I think you might be able to fix that with trust.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
I don't know. I just thought about that.
Sure.
So it's not like I have a proper answer with that.
Yeah.
But I do believe that maybe the more they gain trust with us,
Mhm.
they being the creatures that are there, whether it's the ghosts,
Sure.
whether it's the Sasquatch or whatever else is there, I think once they gain trust with us that we mean no harm, that we mean, that we're there for peace, dude.
Yeah.
We're here to, just say hello and tell your story.
Yeah.
That's all we're there for. And I think once we kind of get into that a little bit more, I think that's where we will see a major change in the potentially the atmosphere of the area.
That makes a lot of sense, actually. That's a good theory.
So we're going to see.
Yeah, test it.
We're totally going to see. Let's go to another question here. Let's go to Teabag or T-Bone.
Well, yeah. Faux pas.
Faux pas there. All right.
Love you, T-Bone.
Do you plan on asking relatives? Sometimes live radio is just, oh my God.
Yes.
Sorry, T-Bone. Do you plan on asking relatives questions? No. No, we're not getting into the crash site part of it.
Oh, yeah. No, I mean, even if Dave wanted to, I don't think I'd be too comfortable with that. I feel that's kind of sacred ground for that. I mean, yeah, the way that I feel that these poor people had a horrendous end of life, and yeah, I don't know.
Even if the spirits want to come talking to us,
Mhm.
and I think on the many microphones that we'll have out there on the cameras,
Yeah,
we may hear some EVPs come out.
Yeah,
Those EVPs are for the. We're not going to exploit them for the
No.
family. Look, in our area, this crash site is still a very sensitive area to a lot of people. There are people in our town who had relatives on that plane crash site or at the plane crash and lost their lives. There's one lady in town here who lost both her parents on that flight.
Right.
And so there's still a lot of sensitivity in this area regarding the crash site, even though that is fading. I have talked to an RCMP officer about what we are doing.
Yes.
And he basically said, look, investigate all you want there, because the crash site. This is what I said earlier in the show. The crash site is the cause, but we're there for the effect. Why is all of this around? Now, if a ghost wants to speak with us, are we going to communicate with the ghost? Absolutely. Absolutely, we are. Are we going to get into the how did you die? What seat were you sitting in? All of that kind of stuff? No, that is, I think that's a little too insensitive for what we are doing.
Good way to put
it. And I
it.
think that's a way that we could get a real black eye in a small community.
Yeah, I would agree too. I don't think that that's the best. And yeah, the effect, the why did this all develop is incredible, because I mean, it's almost like the who's who of the cryptid and alien, and it's a weird phenomena and a weird occurrence, because I mean, Dave's experienced, seen aliens up there, seen UFOs, seen a Sasquatch. It just, there's so much happening in this small little area, relatively speaking. Why is it all happening? It's good. I want to know.
Yeah, and I think is all about trying to keep that respect. I think
100%.
if we start prodding the spirits, I think that will actually cause more harm. Much like last year when we decided to experiment by bringing a Ouija board out.
Yeah, no.
And that's when things started to go a little awry. Yeah. Continue the talk. Your question.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
T-Bone, once again, I am so sorry. Did not mean that. I don't know. Freudian slip.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Well, you're drinking iced tea, so that's
I
probably what it
feel
was.
I feel bad right now. I feel bad. I do.
Oh. I was like, who is that? So I was like,
Yeah.
oh, really?
I got to go buy a boatload of batteries.
Mm.
And I have to charge my flashlight.
Yeah.
And I have to charge my thermal.
Oh, right. I
Yeah.
forgot you had that.
Yeah.
At least you don't have to charge your new binos.
No.
Those are sweet.
Yeah. I got like I went to the pawn shop that's connected to the local hunting and fishing store,
Mm-hmm.
and I ended up buying what are those retail? About $350?
Easy.
$350,
Easy.
$400. I
Yeah.
got it for like $120. And they look brand new.
Yeah. Nice Bushnells.
Yeah.
They're very nice.
Mhm.
We were in the backyard playing before the show tonight. It's like, big.
Yeah. Yes, we were.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
You got a smoking deal on those, man.
You're jealous right now, aren't you?
I'm really happy for you. Actually, I'm like right on.
This adds to the gear. Check another piece off the list.
That's right.
And I bought a tape measure.
Yeah. And you know what? That's funny because dunk. Never even thought. Well, I thought about it, but I forgot as quick as I remembered to bring one. Right?
I don't recall how many times we've gone looking for Bigfoot, found prints, and did not have a tape measure.
Okay, so that's yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Then you're trying to do the famous shoe measurement.
Oh gosh, yeah.
Yeah.
No, tape measure's the best. Makes so much sense.
Mm-hmm. Oh man.
You gonna make her?
Oh yeah. I'm just so happy right now.
No doubt.
You know. Oh man.
Monk. Never forget the lube.
Yep. I was going to go through my stuff today.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you were too busy. You got some exciting stuff done today.
Oh yeah. I bought a water cooler.
No.
Yes, got the business side completed. That was
Mhm.
good.
Yeah, that's exciting.
Mm-hmm. It's been a good day.
Yeah. It has.
It has been a good day. Just one location to another today. Got my beard trimmed.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Shout out to Chris or Chad, my barber,
Mm-hmm.
you know, for making my beard look amazing.
Definitely.
He's like, what? He keeps forgetting I'm on a CPAP. So
Oh.
he's like, your mustache is coming in so good. I said, yeah, get rid of it.
Yeah.
He's like, why? I said, because I can't seal my.
Yeah, you got the mask.
Yeah, I got to go back to I got to buy new
Oh, the nose.
nose pedals.
Yeah. Yep. I like him.
Mm-hmm.
Unless you're laying there and you open your mouth in the middle of the night.
How do you know he's sleeping?
Yeah. Your wife reaches across and gently pushes your mouth
Yeah,
closed.
you're literally causing white noise for the ghost to communicate through you. We got 90 seconds.
Alrighty.
I'm gonna crack that.
I was
window.
just thinking
Yeah.
that.
He's so much closer to the window than me. That's right. A whole step and a half.
Oh my goodness, that's good already.
Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, right now, we're gonna have a good time.
Oh, it's going to be a blast.
Mm-hmm. We also have I have a couple psychics lined up to join us too.
Oh, right.
Not that night, but in the next little bit, including one who is First Nations.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah. So we'll take this topic to the top of the hour. and then we'll get into the UFO stuff afterwards.
Sounds good.
Yeah. That's going to be good. Got about 12 seconds. Thank you to Zen2, Ozzy Ange, Walter, Noble Patrick, Kitty ×2, Fast Hemi, Tebow, Blue Cruise, and Tim for the super chats.
Right on.
Appreciate the love tonight, everybody. Thank you. Here we go. Second half. Space Rock Radio. With us. Hey, reminder to all of you that if you missed portions of this show or others, our archives are always free on YouTube or any major podcast network. Why are they free, Tim?
Because that's the way you want it, Dave.
That's exactly the way I want it. Something's got to be free in this world.
Mm-hmm.
Our archives are free. Our website, also free, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram, Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. He's Tim James. You're Tim James, right?
I think so.
I'm Dave Scott.
You are.
Talking about our upcoming adventure into the British Columbia forest we call Flight 21. We got a bunch of questions from our audience. So, Tim, let's just get right into it. Let's go to Seymour. How much of a drive is Flight 21 from Winnipeg? As I will be doing a job there later this summer. Well, if you hang a left on the Highway 1, you're looking at about 2,000 miles.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, from Winnipeg, we'll just stand on the hill and wave. You'll see us.
Yeah, we'll climb to the Rockies about 4 hours away. We will wave. Just use your binos, and you'll be able to see us.
No
waving.
problem.
No problem. It's nice and flat up there. But yeah, you're about 2,000 miles away.
Yeah.
All right. Walter wants to know, have you had any missing time at that crash site? That is one thing that I've never had experienced is missing time. And I'm very happy about that.
Yeah.
Are we prepared for it? How do you prepare for it?
I was thinking that.
Look, Tim knows that when I'm in the forest, the one thing that I do is that I am always clock watching. You know, I am a clock watcher no matter what. Whether it's my wristwatch, whether it's my phone, whether I'm in studio here watching the time on everything, I am a clock watcher.
Yeah.
It's a radio thing that we do. And I've said to Tim a couple of times going out into the forest to either location, I've said to him point blank, I'm always watching the time because you never know what's going to happen, because all of a sudden, boom, you lose 20 minutes, you lose an hour and a half, or maybe, last time you checked the clock, it's 9:30 at night, and now it's 4:20 in the morning.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? We got to figure out what's happening.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm always clock watching. And just so you know, when I wear a watch, I don't wear a watch that has batteries. It's all...
Mine too.
Yeah, it's all those types of... I don't even know what they're called.
Atomic
watches. Yeah. Thank you. So I got a couple of those.
Me too.
I'll be wearing.
Yep.
Rock and Rory wants to know, what do you do when you find body parts? There's been no body parts up there for a long time. Everybody was recovered.
Yes.
Yeah. But that is a good question. I'm going to expand on that question for a little bit, because I did talk to a Mountie, a Royal Canadian Mounted Police member, about this, told them what we were going to be doing. And the officer stated to me that what we are doing up there is absolutely fine. However, if we did come across something that may influence the case, and that place has been mulled over for 50 years.
Yeah.
Almost 60 years. Okay. If we were to find something that was part of the case, maybe a piece of clothing that survived, or maybe they didn't get all the body parts. I don't
no,
know.
fair enough.
But if we were to find something, we would have to turn that into the RCMP
Mhm.
because it is still an open case.
Yeah.
Okay. And I don't think it's a case that will ever close.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Let's go to Amanda.
Okay.
Have you guys camped there before? Has there been any weird things happen there before?
I have not.
I have. And it's a very uncomfortable feeling.
Mhm.
We camped there last year with Merle and Samantha and our cameraman Richie and our bodyguard Mark.
Mhm.
Granted, nothing happened those 2 nights that we were there. And I'll be honest with you, I think my snoring kept the animals away.
It does, in all seriousness, it will.
Well, I'm a loud snorer.
Mhm.
Very loud snorer. Richie actually recorded me snoring.
I love that. Yeah.
Yeah. Thanks, Rich. Appreciate that.
My wife did the same thing.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So the idea of camping out there is eerie. What have we had weird happen there before? And I know many of our audience will know, but Amanda's kind of new to our chat room. So we have had Sasquatch encounters there from what we call the samurai chatter, where we could hear them talking in the forest. We've heard Sasquatch roars. We've heard growls from our base camp, which we believe are from Sasquatch. We have been stalked. We have been followed by Sasquatch. We've had UFOs flying over. We've had a UFO landing there. We've had an alien walking through the trees. We've had disembodied voices. We've had one name from the victims list that has come across on EVP.
Oh,
Yeah, that happened with Bill Hauser, I believe, in like 2018, 2019. We have had ghostly encounters there. So there has been a lot of high strangeness. The ghostly encounters don't scare me. The UFO did not scare me. The disembodied voices scared me.
yeah, I can imagine.
Yeah. Now, I have really loud tinnitus in my ears.
Mhm.
And so I didn't hear them. But the way Merle and Samantha were describing them was that it was both male and female voices
At the same
at
time?
the same time, like they were having a conversation.
Oh, geez.
And they were loud enough to make out male or
Mhm.
female,
Mhm.
but they were not loud enough to make out what they were saying.
Okay.
Yeah. Which made it a little uncomfortable.
Yeah.
And when that is happening, we were in a meadow, probably 60 yards from the crash site,
Okay.
way off into the trees.
Okay.
And there's nothing there that should be setting off our paranormal equipment.
Oh.
And yet there it was.
Interesting.
Very scary. Very scary. All right, let's go to Joe. Dave's camping list: acoustic guitar, rubber duck on the Jeep of the hood with a camera pointed at it, cameras pointed at cameras, cooking bacon all over the campfire. Well, the technically good part is if we need to have a fire, we can have a fire there right now.
Thank goodness. Yes.
You know, and I think, I don't know if we'll do it on night number 1, but there's enough wood there to burn.
Oh,
Yeah.
no question.
Yeah, there's enough wood there to burn.
We'll have chainsaws and stuff too.
Yeah. We bring mine or yours?
Whatever works. Mine's all ready to go.
Oh, we'll get yours because I
Right.
haven't fired mine up in about 3.5 years.
We'll bring mine.
Yeah. Yeah. I gotta go this year and get more firewood. So I gotta get mine going.
Yep.
But yeah, we are going to be packing for,
Mhm.
you know, and you know, speaking of fire, you know, the fire ban is not on yet in our area, which is good, but the other good part about fire is it quickly shows people where you are in case something happens.
Yeah.
And in case you get stuck, like let's say we're going in on one vehicle, and if my vehicle breaks down, which it shouldn't,
No.
okay, but if my vehicle breaks down, we have a way to keep warm.
Oh, for sure.
We have a way to keep, you know, ourselves heated.
And stating the obvious, a campfire obviously keeps the animals away, but it also gives you that sense of security and keeps the boogeyman away. I don't I don't care. A campfire always gives you a better sense of security as well. So it makes you feel more comfortable.
Yeah, I do think though that we should probably look at going to the dollar store and getting some toys
Sure.
and just kind of when we're there laying them out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. When we leave, we can put them in more secure places or take them back.
I get you. Yeah.
But it would be interesting to see because there's certain areas, certain logs,
Yeah.
and certain trails like by the big fallen tree.
Mm-hmm.
What would happen if something moved while that we were there?
Yeah.
Right.
True. Well,
and then it's process of elimination. Was it a pack rat? Was it?
Oh God.
Was it? It a crow? Was it a raven?
Mm-hmm.
Was it something else?
Sure. No, absolutely.
Right? So it is very interesting. Let's go to Seymour here. It's still a crime scene. Are there restrictions visiting it? Absolutely not.
No.
There are no restrictions on the crash site at all. The investigation is cold case. It's being worked out of offices. They believe that they have pulled enough evidence out of that area. And a lot of the crash site pieces were actually taken away and then brought back to the crash site at the request of many of the family members that were there, that had family members lost on that flight.
Yeah.
So that way they had some sort of memorial. But I mean, it is weird when you look on the ground and you see molten metal that has been melted into the dirt. You know, obviously it wasn't dirt back then, but into the ground.
Yeah.
There's a lot of that. The cockpit is there. Yep. There's an engine there. There's a part of the landing gear.
The seat frames.
Yeah, it's like, about a mile away are the wings and the tail section, which they actually had to paint over a number of years ago. They had to paint them camouflage because too many planes who didn't know about the crash site, when they flew over, they were reporting it in.
Sure.
So I've never been there, tried finding it once, could not find them. It would be interesting to add that to the investigation.
Sure.
But I don't think at this point the area that we are investigating we would actually need to go to the wings and tail section.
No.
So the other thing about it too is this site is not big. It is maybe the size of an American football field.
Maybe.
I would say it's smaller.
Yeah.
Okay. Width-wise, probably is equal.
Yep.
But length-wise, I don't think it's 100 yards.
No, I would suspect not. And quite honestly, it's kind of hard to tell. You're in the forest, but yeah, it's a weird. You guys will all see when we film it. You'll understand what we're talking about.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think it being a small area and it's very condensed and like we said earlier, very claustrophobic.
Yeah,
it is something that there's not a lot of place for running around. You don't have to run around there.
No.
Everything is right there. Like from where you park, it's only about maybe 100 feet to the crash site.
Yeah.
You know? And that's 7 steps for a Sasquatch. Right?
Yes.
So let's see
What
here.
else?
Just looking for more questions from our audience as we are talking here. Let's see here. What's this one? Yeah, we do have laser pointers. I got to charge them.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I got to get all new batteries for everything.
I don't know. What's the laser pointer?
UFOs.
Oh, okay. I'm
UFOs.
thinking something else. Excellent.
Yep. Or in case we see something shining in its eye.
Yeah.
Yeah, because that'll go over well.
Okay, Dave, you go.
Hey, Bob Dogman. Let's just put the laser up in your eyes. Yeah, stop squirming.
Yeah, that's right.
Don't squint. It's gonna hurt. You know, it's gonna hurt. All right, continuing on here. We have a question coming in from T-Bone.
Yeah.
What devices are you bringing?
All right. Well, For investigating, I would say, well, I'm bringing the cameras. Dave's got a bunch of other gear that I'm sure he can expand on. Besides pointy sticks, probably loading up my my waterproof pack with tarps and all that good stuff. But device-wise, Dave will probably bring all his toys, and I'll let him explain it.
Yeah, I'm bringing a lot of paranormal gear that I
Okay.
have. You know, I don't have a lot of high-tech television type, but I do have some mid-range gear that I'll be bringing. I will be bringing my strand of lights.
Oh, cool.
Cat balls seem to work really well. Neon cat balls seem to work. I may need your technical prowess to fix a couple pieces of my gear.
Sure.
So we're on a time limit for that.
Yeah, no kidding.
And I don't know where they are right now. So I will be bringing, I think I got like 3 or 4 K2 meters.
Yeah,
I will be bringing those
for sure.
in order to spread those around and just see, you know, because the one thing that we do want, I know a lot of people, for instance, if you're into the paranormal world, really you're using a K2 meter. I've always had success with them. And when you're in the middle of the forest where there is no energetic signature, there's no copper wiring or anything like that, and you watch it go off, it works.
Yeah.
So it's going to be very interesting to see how that goes. Along with the camera gear, of course, we have the FLIR, handheld FLIR that we can use. We have, you know, I think I got a ghost box.
Yeah, you got, yeah.
We'll have all sorts of stuff there that we'll be able to push through.
Yeah, for sure. I'm going to bring my little micro recorder too. Right. So
never know what you're going to capture.
That's right.
Linda is asking what kind of paranormal phenomenon has happened at the crash site. Well, I'll repeat that. We have had full body apparitions. We've had disembodied voices. We've caught voices over ghost box. We've had aliens. We've had UFOs, both in the sky and on the ground, and lots of Sasquatch activity, including being escorted out of the forest twice. Not once, because once wasn't good enough in 2018.
No.
We had to do it again in 2024.
Just to make sure.
We got it right. You know, and let me tell you, when you were being stalked, it took me a while to get over that.
Oh, yeah.
It took me a long while to get over that. And I don't know if I'm still over that. You know, it's one thing to be escorted out.
Sure.
You don't see them when they're doing this. You hear them. You hear the movement, the heavy movement, because they make sure that they are loud when you are going through. Like they are shaking tree branches. They are grunting. They are huffing. And realistically, if you didn't know any better, you would think it was a bear.
Sure.
Because it starts to act like a bear. Okay. But when you have one thing about bears is you aren't going to have a bear on the left of the trail and a bear on the right of the trail.
Oh, no.
Making the movement.
No.
They're not going to be doing that. So.
Yeah.
So.
Definitely not. What you'll find, though, I mean, yeah, bears normally 9 times out of 10, they'll come up and they'll sometimes 9 times out of 10 you don't hear them. But if you're getting into their zone where they don't want you there, they make enough noise and they usually stay put. You know, unless it's a grizzly, but a black bear and stuff. So yeah, if they're following you, paralleling you down a path, I would say that that's not just a normal animal in the forest.
No, no. So, I mean, when you get that feeling that, you know, as humans, we are very used to being the big boys on the block.
Oh yeah. And that's the mistake.
But when you are in an area where the animals are much bigger, they're much stronger, they pack a heavier punch.
Oh, gee.
Okay. And if you hurt them, they make sure they hurt you more.
Oh yeah.
That's not a good time.
No, definitely not. Definitely not. Especially, I mean, I keep saying grizzlies, and those things are so powerful, and we've got them up here. Real quick story. My brother was out with it and a grizzly, and they buddy of his, they were hunting them, and I don't hunt grizzlies. So they were hunting this grizzly, and it was a guided hunt, and they managed to get the grizzly, and the guide said, just sit. It's like, oh no, man, we cracked them good. 4 shots. We got them good. Guide said, just sit. Made coffee, and my brother, and they're like, what the heck's going on? So after about a half hour, he goes, all right, let's go. So they walked over to the top of the ridge where they got this grizzly, and the grizzly had actually, it had ended up, it was not alive anymore, and it basically bulldozed itself trying to push. It had broke its back, its neck, and it pushed and kept pushing, even though it had 4 pointy objects in it, and just kept going.
Trying to get up the hill.
Oh yeah. Yep. No, thank you.
No. No.
No. What do we got?
Well, let's go to our next question.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to Joe. We got about 3.5 minutes. This will be our final 2 questions.
Yep.
Will you be hanging old CDs from branches to see if you could get some Bigfoot fingerprints?
Oh,
good idea. Well, we're going to have to stop. Tim, you're going to have to make the run to the dollar store.
get CDs.
Yeah.
I got a bunch of old ones.
Yeah. Well, just use your Stevie Nicks ones because nobody wants to listen to
that. Okay.
Yeah. Can you imagine Sasquatch trying to play a Stevie Nicks CD and all he hears is a goat? Bah. Sorry, not a Stevie Nicks fan.
Yeah, no.
Not a Stevie Nicks fan. We're going to try a bunch of different things out there. The only thing we will not be bringing is food.
Yeah, no.
And if the only piece of food I would bring would be a jar of peanut butter, because bears cannot open a peanut butter jar.
Oh, okay.
They can bite through it,
definitely,
but they cannot open it.
Okay, I get where you're going.
It takes opposable thumbs to be able to open a jar.
Of course.
Who has opposable thumbs?
This
Sasquatch.
guy. Oh.
Well, you're halfway there.
I know.
You're not as hairy as Dirty Filth.
No.
You're halfway there. Final question here. Are either of you concerned about the health of many Bigfoot researchers? We've lost so many researchers the past few years. Do you think it's more lifestyle, or is getting close to Bigfoot truly dangerous? That's from Dookie over on X. I'll take that one first.
Yeah.
I think that the popular researchers, just like the popular ufologists, they're getting to that age where it's time to say goodnight. And they're passing away, which is sad because you don't want to see them. You want to see these legends move on forever. But I don't think it has anything to do with the Bigfoot. I don't think it's like UFOs where Bigfoot carries some sort of radiation.
Yeah.
Okay, or any type of health anomaly that besides ripping your body parts off. I don't think that it's something that can harm you that way.
Yeah.
But I do believe it's just because of age and due to television, due to social media, where everybody and their dog can now have a YouTube channel.
Yes.
Anybody and their dog can research. Anybody and their dog can film it. It's really taken the romanticism out of the bigger names in the cryptid world, or even the UFO world for that matter.
True.
Because now everybody wants to do it. Everybody's looking for not their 15 minutes of fame anymore. They're 10 minutes of fame.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what I think it is.
Yeah.
We notice when the legends leave, and there doesn't seem to be anybody coming up. But there is some great researchers out there, man.
Yeah, for sure. And real quick, getting close to a Bigfoot truly dangerous. I don't plan on going to the Bigfoot. I plan on sitting back and letting them come to me. If they're coming to approach and look at me.
And that's a big statement right there, because I don't believe in chasing them down.
No.
I don't believe, because when you chase any wild creature around, they get on the defensive real quick.
Darn straight.
I mean, even if you watch these guys snowmobiling in the middle of winter chasing down a grizzly bear, the grizzly bear finally will stop and say, enough's enough. Let me take your head off.
Yep.
And I'm not having that happen. The best way that I have found to get these creatures on your side is to let them come to you.
Mm-hmm.
And you just sit there and wait. UFO Report with Tim James next, along with Swamp Dweller. We'll be back for hour number 3.
You're listening to Spaced Out Radio with your host, Dave Scott.
All right, guys, we'll be right back. All right. We're back with you. Moody Mongol, how are you? Thurston Howell III, how's Lovey doing? Give us an update.
Doing fine.
Holly, thanks for coming on in. Yeah, we're having some issue with the music right now coming through. We're working on that. We're trying to figure it out. Captain is totally doing the Oilers dance again. Whoopoo, how are you? We're caught up on people. Thank you tonight to our super chatters, Ozzy Ann, Zen 2, Walter, Tim, Kitty Cattywhack times 2, Noble Patrick, T-Bone, Fast Hemi, and Blue Cruise. Thank you for the love and support. If you're new here, don't forget to hit subscribe, ring that bell. Here we go. All right, here comes hour number 3 of Spring. Tim James coming up with the UFO report. Swamp Dweller coming up momentarily. But first, we want to say hello to everyone listening in on our terrestrial affiliates around North America, digitally on every major podcast network, our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. The Desert Clam has set the password for tonight in the SOR Space Travelers Club. Maculamancy. Maculamancy is your password. Use it wisely, Space Travelers, as the Clam sets the password each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Let's head to the swamp.
Hello and welcome to Spaced Out Radio's Swamp. I'm Swamp Dweller, and tonight I'm going to take you on a mystic journey of the unknown, sharing tales of monsters, legends, and nightmares. Welcome to the Spaced Out Radio Swamp. This story happened to me several years ago when I was in the 5th grade, so forgive me if it's not particularly good. My memory is not the best. I was camping with my friend Tim and his brother Michael, whose family had just moved on to a rather large plot of land coated in dense woodland and lots of little streams. As we were young and anxious, we wanted to explore the woods to find a nice little place to build a fort and hang out. So, we headed out into the woods with only sleeping bags and some backpacks with snacks, flashlights, and some warm clothes should it get too cold. We found a nice little clearing that had flat ground, save for the far side that ran steeply down to meet the creek. We set up camp here and had went swimming in the creek where we found some strange animal footprints that looked very close to a human. But these prints were smaller and had only 3 toes. We thought this was weird at first, but quickly it had left our thoughts as we returned to splashing each other and having fun. Come sunset, we were all laying down in the grass watching as the colorful sky darkened and the night's beginning, when we heard a noise coming from the side of the clearing that our camp was at. We were sitting on the hill, so we could not be seen by anything that was on the flat part of the clearing. We brushed it off at first. We thought it was probably a deer or something. But then we heard the unmistakable sound of fabric tearing and sniffing. We cautiously looked over the top of the slope and saw a small dark gray creature, no larger than a chimpanzee, walking around our campsite. I was in shock at first, but I began to grow more and more terrified with every passing moment, till Michael threw a rock into the woods behind the creature, and it scurried off back into the woods. We waited for a couple of minutes before we got up from our cover behind the slope. All our bags had been ripped open, and all of our snacks were now gone or thrown about. On the ground, we found footprints all in the mud around our campsite. I got chills down my back and suggested that we leave, but Michael and Tim said they wanted to stay because whatever it was had left, and that it was probably just a deformed coyote or something. I guess I gave in to their pleas, and we decided to stay out, and sometime later, we had a fire going once again. It was around 10 p.m. when we heard branches snapping in the tops of the trees nearest our camp. We looked up and saw that thing once again, trying its best to hide after it made noise. We were all pale-faced and decided to run into the woods away from our camp. I heard that thing behind us, but didn't want to look back. I ended up slipping a glance back, though, eventually. It was not far behind us, so I yelled to stay together, so that if it caught up, we could fight it better. Despite my best efforts, we ended up getting split up, and soon I found myself back in the clearing. I had managed to do a full circle back, but heard brush breaking behind me. So I dove down the slope and rolled into the creek, trying my best to be quiet. I tucked myself just under the incline of the drop into the creek, and I just tried to slow my breathing as best as I could. I was terrified, cut up, and bruised from my chase through the woods, and now soaking wet. I held my breath as I heard something making its way down the slope towards me. I heard a soft hissing sound and a growl as whatever it was ran back up the slope towards my camp. I sat there for what felt like hours, but was probably only 15 minutes or so, when there was a large splash next to me. I thought it was done for, but I saw it was Tim. What are you doing here? I asked. I came looking for you and Michael, Tim said out of breath. I haven't seen Michael since back in the woods, I replied worriedly. I thought he was with you. Tim was about to speak when we heard someone making their way through the clearing towards the slope. I thought I was going to be forced to hold my breath again, but Tim stood up and quickly ran to the other side of the creek to escape. I saw his shape fade into the darkness quickly, and I was about to follow when I saw that gray creature jump up into the water just feet away and give chase. It smelled like death, and I could see it well for a short instant. Its flesh seemed to wriggle and squirm like there were worms just under the peeling flesh, and its bony spine looked more like a protrusion than a bone. I was terrified, now more than ever, and my fight or flight instinct kicked in. I know it sounds terrible, but I used this chance to get out of the water and run back to Tim and Michael's house, not too far from where we were camping. Right as I got out of the clearing, I saw Michael. He was ducking behind a tree, and I called his name in a hushed tone. He looked at me, and I saw pure relief over his face, and he stood up. "Where's Tim?" he asked worriedly. He ran the opposite way, and the thing took off after him. I said with tears in my eyes. How long had I been crying? I thought to myself, when suddenly I was knocked off my feet by something. It was Tim, and we all nodded in agreement and ran toward the house. We did not know if we were being chased, but at this point we did not care. We just wanted to get into a safe place. We made it back to their house with no problems, and we all slept restlessly on the floor in Michael's room. This is anticlimactic, but we went back to that place and none of our stuff was there, and we never saw the creature again. I have not talked with Tim or Michael in a couple of years, but I want to talk to them about that night sometime soon if I can.
Another spooky one by our main man, Swamp Dweller. If you want more stories just like that, head on over to his YouTube channel, Swamp Dweller. He's got thousands of them there free. What you want to do is hit subscribe, ring that bell on that channel. Swamp Dweller kicks off hour number 3 each and every night right here on Spaced Out Radio. Time for the UFO Report.
That is an interplanetary flying space saucer. You have made me very angry. Very angry indeed.
Little Timmy James in for the UFO Report. Been a long one for you tonight.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. It's been a blast. Been unbelievably fun.
Once again, we're still waiting to hear from Science Bob.
Yeah, and all
Don't
joking aside.
Yeah,
Mhm.
I'll hear from him in the morning.
Yeah.
You know, but hey, we're continuing on here. This time you're putting your UFO hat back on and and having a good time with us.
Yeah.
Lots of UFO news, a lot of controversial stuff that's kind of making its way around right now.
Yeah.
People are wondering which direction we are heading with all of this. And the reality is, we don't even know.
That way.
We don't even know.
No,
Where
we
are we
don't.
Where are we going to start?
Well, you might have heard this joke. So Eric Burleson, David Grush, and Arrow walk into a skiff. So sorry, I just had to go there. Yes, apparently there was a top secret skiff that happened. So today, a significant meeting took place in a skiff involving U.S. Representative Eric Burleson unidentified anomalous phenomena whistleblower David Grush, and representatives from the Department of Defense's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, ARROW. So this classified briefing marks a pivotal moment in the ongoing congressional push for transparency regarding UFOs, as lawmakers and whistleblowers, also known as witnesses, seek to uncover what the government knows about the mysterious phenomenon. So according to the recent reports, the skiff briefing was a long-sought opportunity for Grush to share his insights directly with Arrow in a secure environment. Representative Burleson described the meeting as very productive, noting that Grush provided more information to Arrow than he received in return. Surprise! The briefing was initially delayed due to issues with reinstating Grush's top secret sensitive compartmented information clearance, which was restored in late April of 2025, enabling the discussions to proceed. The involvement of Arrow in the skiff briefing is notable, given Grush's prior refusal to meet with the office outside a secure setting due to concerns about legal ramifications and Arrow's investigative rigor. Posts on X and other social media sites indicated that the meeting also set the stage for upcoming classified UAP and UFO briefings involving the FBI, suggesting a broadening of the investigation into federal agencies. So the skiff meeting represents a critical step in bridging the gap between whistleblowers' allegations and official government investigations. Burleson's decision to hire Grush as a senior officer has given Congress direct access to a figure with deep knowledge of classified programs, allowing lawmakers to take a rifle shot at the UAP issue, as Burleson previously stated. The restored security clearance for Grush further enables him to speak freely in secure settings, potentially revealing details about alleged programs that have been shielded from public view. Meeting also highlights ongoing tensions. Arrow's March 2024 report denied evidence of extraterrestrial activity or hidden programs, a stance that contrasts sharply with Grush's claims that those of other whistleblowers like former Pentagon official Lou Elizondo. Congressional frustration with the Pentagon's perceived lack of transparency has led to the legislative efforts, such as bills requiring agencies to inventory UAP-related programs and materials regardless of classification. So the skiff briefing has definitely generated a buzz, reflecting excitement and curiosity about its implications. One person called the meeting interesting, speculating about whether Grush shared details about other whistleblowers or received new information from Arrow. Another person emphasized the inclusion of the FBI in upcoming briefings, suggesting a multi-agency approach to UFO investigations. So what's next? The skiff briefing is likely a precursor to further congressional action. Burleson has signaled intentions to establish direct communication with U.S. Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and leverage Grush's connections, including ties to Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard, to advance the investigation. Upcoming briefings with the FBI and potential additional skiff sessions could shed light on the scope of alleged UFO programs and whether they involve human technology as Grush has claimed. So the skiff meeting between all three marks a significant moment in the quest for UFO transparency by bringing together a determined congressman, a high-profile whistleblower, and the Pentagon's UAP investigation office. The briefing underscores the growing momentum behind congressional efforts to uncover the truth about UAPs. While the full details of the discussion remain classified, hence the skiff, The event signals that the push for disclosure is gaining traction, with potential implications for national security, government accountability, and public understanding for unidentified phenomenon.
Mm.
Hmm.
So, in other words, a lot of writing, no information.
Of course.
You know, I like what Danny Silva said on the show last night, that people are done with all talk, no action.
100%. You're no kidding.
We understand. I mean, I don't think the public gets enough credit for understanding that we know the talks have to go on.
Mm.
We know that the conversations have to happen before, you know, you just don't build a house. You need a foundation
100%
to build
yes.
a house.
Correct.
But if they're talking in a skiff, where is the transparency in that? Is it the transparency in saying that we are having a conversation? Maybe that's it.
Mm-hmm.
How many of those do we have to have?
Well, as many as they want, apparently. No, and you're right. It's hard to let me think of this. It's hard to report on this besides saying, yeah, they had a skiff. There's a lot of bubbles and fluff that are involved with that story, but yeah, when does it become enough? When does anything actually happen? I don't know. Your guess is as good as mine, but yeah, it's here we go. Okay. Yep. Top secret. So,
you know, and I don't mean to sound so pessimistic.
well, yeah, it's hard not to at times.
But it is, you're right. It's getting hard not to be
Mhm.
pessimistic with everything.
Yes.
You know, I mean, have you ever been in those situations where people have promised you the world and extremely under-delivered?
Yeah, on a few occasions.
Yeah, that's what this is like.
Mhm.
It's over-promise, under-deliver.
Yeah.
And look, I want this to go through. I
Yeah.
do. Do I believe it? No.
Mm-mm.
No, I do not for a second. But at some point, when you come out of these skiffs,
Mhm.
the idea for that whole conversation is to come out and provide something. Like,
Yeah.
I would like to know with Eric Burleson or whomever,
Mhm.
I'd like to know, if the question is asked, what in this conversation can we take to the public to give them something? We
Mm,
never seem to get that.
no.
That's an
Mm.
important question. If you're announcing that you are having that meeting,
Yeah.
even if it was a surprise meeting that the public knew nothing about
Right.
until it was announced afterwards,
Yes.
why do you not have somebody saying inside there, is there something we can give the public in this conversation? You can't tell me it was all, you know, above top secret convo going on with that.
Yeah. Yeah, I see where you're going. I really don't know if I don't even know if that's the main goal when they get in there. I'm just wondering if okay, what do you know? What do you know?
But explain that to the people. Where is Burleson's transparency saying, look, we sat in a skiff.
Yeah.
This is what happens when we're in there.
Mhm.
This is what is talked about. Okay.
Yeah.
And what I am able to provide for you
Mhm.
is ABCD.
Right.
I can't
Okay.
talk about the rest of the alphabet, but I could talk to you about ABCD.
Yeah.
Okay. A being David Grush was there. That's a good point,
Sure.
because finally he's doing his job.
Yeah.
Okay. The Arrow was there. That's number 2.
Mhm.
Okay. That's how you build the transparency in this.
Right?
Rather, we had a skiff. David was there. Arrow was there. It was a good conversation. Like, I mean, it's like NHL playoffs with a lower body injury.
Mhm. Mhm.
In the meantime, the guy has a broken clavicle.
Yeah, right. What is actually going on? We want to know.
But it is part of the game.
Oh yeah.
And it's a part of the game that is getting a little bit
Tedious.
obtuse,
There's a lot of verbs we could use.
right?
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure the same as you, but I'm just surprised that, you know, I think you're right. I think the transparent, well, we are being transparent because we had a skiff. We told you we had one. So yeah, the information that's coming out of there, how much did they even get done besides trying to mend fences, right? Between Arrow and Grush. I could imagine that went well.
Well, I mean, now that Dr. Sean Kirkpatrick is out of the picture,
True.
that makes it a little bit more easier for that to happen. And the fact that Grush has been hired as a special assistant to Eric Burleson,
Yeah.
that brings it up a little bit easier for him.
Mhm.
We got 4 minutes. Let's get to the next one.
All right. So the UFO enigma, a call for U.S. government disclosure. Retired U.S. Army Colonel Carl Nell. So in his compelling policy paper, the UFO enigma, retired U.S. Army Colonel Carl Nell made a bold case for why Congress must pass the UAP Disclosure Act in 2025. With a distinguished career spanning high-level military intelligence and aerospace roles, Nell leverages his insider perspective to argue that the U.S. government's longstanding secrecy surrounding UFO is no longer tenable. He asserts with zero doubt that non-human intelligence has been interacting with humanity for an extended period, a reality he claims is known to unelected government officials who have withheld this information from the public and Congress. Nell's argument hinges on the risks of continuing secrecy, warning that a failure to disclose could lead to catastrophic disclosure, a chaotic, uncontrolled release of information by foreign adversaries or independent actors that could destabilize society. He cites historical government efforts like the 2004 decision by the CIA, Pentagon, and Defense Intelligence Agency to suppress UFO research due to perceived societal risks as evidence of deliberate cover-up. Drawing on his experience with the UAP task force, Nell supports whistleblower David Grush's claims of secret UAP crash retrieval and reverse engineering programs, describing Grush as beyond reproach. He argues that these programs, hidden within classified compartments, have evaded proper oversight for decades. The paper outlines strategic roadmap for controlled disclosure, targeting October 2030 as a deadline for transparency. Nell envisions a Manhattan Project for reverse engineering UAP technology alongside sociological models to migrate societal impact like ontological shock or institutional distrust. He compares the ethical challenges of UAP disclosure to those posed by AI and colonialism, emphasizing the need for a new framework to navigate interactions with potentially more advanced civilization. Nell also highlighted global corroboration, noting similar claims from high-ranking officials in Canada and Israel suggest the worldwide phenomenon. Ultimately, Nell's call is not just for transparency, but for a transformative shift into how humanity engages with this reality. He advocates for public and scientific collaboration to advance understanding, warning that interaction could cede strategic advantages to rivals. His paper, published by the Saul Foundation, is both a plea and an accountability and a visionary plan to prepare society for a profound paradigm shift, urging Congress to act before the truth emerges uncontrollably.
There's a lot to be said there.
Right?
Okay. I don't know if we'll have enough time to get into this. We only got about 45 seconds before we got to go to break.
Mhm.
The best thing for the public is catastrophic disclosure.
Right.
We know that it doesn't need to be the U.S. who discloses.
Mhm.
The reason why the United States government doesn't want this and military officials don't want this is because they don't want the secrets that they have been keeping coming out.
Mhm.
That's why we see a controlled disclosure program. That is why I've said for years now, we are not in a disclosure movement. We are in a confirmation movement.
Right.
And let's continue this when we return, because the catastrophic disclosure, it intrigues me.
Mhm.
And we need to discuss.
This is Spaced Out Radio. And your host, Dave Scott.
That's quite a huge report, too. Tried to narrow it down and make sure that I got a report that was covered some of the key, tried to cover the key points. My goodness.
Sorry, just texting a source back.
All good. All good.
Ross Lambda, how are you? Jack Valet, good to see you.
We have asset management showing up tomorrow.
Oh, nice.
I'm like, really? Count all our pencils and erasers and post-its.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
You getting the audit?
Yeah, I guess that's what they're doing.
Yeah, they audit everything. Where are you spending your money? Why do you need 4 boxes of staples?
Yeah.
Rather than just 3?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, if you only go through 3 a quarter, why do you have 4?
Yeah. How come you have 2 computer screens? Do you really need 2 computer screens? Yes. Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
How about you getting me a new chair?
Oh my gosh.
Try sitting in this for 6 hours a day. I've seen your chair. It's a piece of shit.
I know. I know.
Your work chair is worse than that one.
Yeah, pretty much. And this
You're
one's
like in the King's Court right there.
yeah, this one has the left or right lean to it. Like I'm just worried one night we're gonna be on the air and I'm gonna go to move and it's just gonna shoot out from under me.
Mm-hmm. I've got 4 screens in here.
I know.
Yep.
Plus your phone, 5. Yeah, you're good.
Yep. I have a better working studio than I ever worked in radio.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Yeah.
I went into the CFox studios in Vancouver.
Yeah.
Pretty slick in there, though.
Oh,
I was
yeah.
like, holy cow.
The motherboards were fun to play with.
Lots
of pots.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Robin LaRose was in there with I got invited in and it was like, my gosh, I don't even know where you'd start.
Worst part about it is you don't even use the board anymore.
No, it's all on the computer, right?
Yep. You know why radio will never die? Like everybody says, terrestrial radio is dying and all this kind of stuff.
Mm.
Here's the reason why radio will never die. Because in case something happens,
Oh, yeah.
radio is the only way you can get a signal through.
Yeah.
You know, even if you have to use the old rabbit ears again,
Mm-hmm. No, that makes sense.
you can still get the signal out.
Yeah.
With just a gas generator.
So video didn't kill the radio star.
Well, I mean, they wanted to.
I know they did.
But, I mean, you think about it. You know what's scary? So you have, like, the United States or Lockheed Martin selling off the F-35 to a bunch of different countries.
Right.
Did you know that part of the agreement of that is every one of those has a kill switch
that they control,
that Lockheed Martin controls?
Yeah.
So let's say Australia, which has them, decides to get into a little
tiff
with the United States.
Yeah.
Lockheed Martin literally hits the switch,
yeah,
and they're all grounded.
Mm-hmm.
That's scary.
No kidding.
Right? How does that pertain to our conversation? Because radio, you can't turn the switch off.
No, true.
As long as you have power, you can broadcast. Thank you to T-Bone ×2, Kitty Caddywhack ×2, Noble Patrick, Blue Cruise, Fast Hemi, Ozzy Ange, Zen2, Walter, Tim. Thank you very much for your love and support on the Super Chats tonight. Greatly appreciate it. Here comes the final half hour. Half hour spaced out UFO. This beautiful planet we call Earth. Special shout out to Joe in Brazil tuning us in today. How cool is that? Here we are in the upper reaches of the Great White North at about, 6,000 miles away.
Yeah. Yep.
From Brazil. Joe is listening in. That is just amazing to me. I love it. I love it. We really do reach all around the world. Yeah. That's why I have a map. I have a map behind me. So that way I can put a pin in every country where we've been broadcast to.
That's cool.
All right. Reminder to all of you, you don't have to listen to the show live. You can always check out our archives for free on YouTube or any major podcast network. Our website, spacedoutradio.com. We have a plethora of features for you. Rock out to Bumblefoot, read the news wire, check out our swag as well. Follow us on X at Spaced Out Radio, Instagram at Spaced Out Radio Show, and on Patreon in the Space Travelers Club. Before we bring Tim in, big shout out to Ross Lambda, listening in New Zealand.
No.
New Zealand. How awesome is that?
Very.
Brazil, New Zealand, Canada, the United States. I know we have England in here.
Probably, Scotland and Ireland. And that's so cool.
Isn't that awesome?
It is.
Yeah. All right, let's get right to it. Catastrophic disclosure. Carl Nell's nightmare of ufology. And here's the reason why. I was just, as you saw me, talking to my source on my phone. And he literally said that Nell believes that disclosure has to be controlled. Has to be. Will not accept a catastrophic disclosure. It is his biggest fear.
Well, sure.
So for people who don't understand what catastrophic disclosure is, Tim, you just read it off.
Yeah.
You remember what it is?
Yeah, it's just here comes the dump truck. And they're saying from a different country or from a different source, or it's not just coming through the United States government.
Yeah. And let's remember, the U.S. government wants their toys.
Of course.
They don't want other people playing with their toys. That's why nobody is allowed to buy a B-2 stealth bomber or a B-21 bomber or even an F-35 because nobody gets the good toys.
That's right.
All right? Yeah. Everybody else gets the hand-me-downs that are, that you get from the local share shed.
Right.
Right. But and you know what? If I was in the United States government, there are certain toys I wouldn't want other countries running around. Can you imagine other countries running around with A-10 Thunderbolts going against American soldiers? I wouldn't want to see that. No, there are certain toys you need to keep for yourself.
For sure.
But the alien toys, what are you hiding there?
Yeah.
What are you hiding there in regards to what you don't want the rest of the world to see? And the thing is, that would mean that we already know China has had their own Roswell incident.
Sure.
Russia has had their own Roswell type incident. Canada's had their own Roswell type incident. Okay. We've had a few around this world. Question is, how far advanced have the United States got compared to the other countries who've been studying these? I think it's a big, big way.
Yeah.
Big way that they have made some incredible advancements. And especially if they are talking to alien species on how to open the door on one of these craft, that's just way out there.
Yeah.
Way out there.
Well, I'm thinking too, with the alleged shortfall in budget, that would definitely bolster that claim. that they're way advanced, way more advanced in technology and research than anybody else in the world. Yeah, I don't know. We've discussed this sort of stuff before, and I'm thinking catastrophic disclosure. Yeah, I think that would turn the world on its ear. If for in so many different ways.
But the thing is, if they keep playing games,
Oh yeah,
they are bringing it upon themselves.
100%.
It's like somebody who keeps passing a gas station, and you're at an eighth of a tank. Oh, I got lots of gas left. Then you hit that stretch where there is no gas station.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe the sign was right. Fill up back here, your last stop for another 100 miles or whatever it may be.
Yeah. Well, somebody's got to start this ball rolling. I mean, stating the obvious, but somebody has to start this ball rolling, not only because we all know that there's stuff going on, but for the simple fact of that catastrophic disclosure. You're right. You keep going past that gas station, you're going to run out of gas, and it's inevitable. Would it not be smarter for them just to start? Okay, we better start bringing this out before it blows up in their face, right? It makes way more sense. Prepare the world. But as we knew with the drones and this past winter and stuff, they're not really good at exposing stuff, even if it's right in front of everybody's face. They want to keep everything. We don't know. There's nothing to see here, right? I don't know.
There's a lot of ego involved in this too.
Right.
And let's also remember, threat narratives create budget.
Yeah.
And these guys want a part of that budget. They're all retired.
Yeah.
They're all contractors.
Yeah.
And contractors to the U.S. government don't make $40K a year.
No,
they are in the six figures.
Mm-hmm.
And if you are holding on to a multi-trillion-dollar technology boom, those six figures will likely go to seven figures.
Oh, for sure.
Very quickly.
Yeah.
Maybe even eight figures.
Mm-hmm. Agreed.
Remember, it's all about money. What else do you have for us, Tim?
Well, let's see here. Apparently, Mr. Jeremy Corbell and Mr. George Knapp did an interview with U.S. National Security official Matthew Brown, and he is a whistleblower behind the Immaculate Constellation report. So, in a recent interview on the Weaponized podcast hosted by Corbell and Knapp, former U.S. National Secretary official Matthew Brown stepped into the public eye as the whistleblower behind the explosive Immaculate Constellation report. This document, submitted to Congress in November of 2024, alleges the existence of a covert, unacknowledged special access program operating under the executive branch, specifically the White House, to monitor and track UFO without congressional oversight. Brown, who held top secret sensitive compartmented information clearance and served as a policy advisor for the Office of the Secretary of Defense, a technical advisor for the Undersecretary of Defense for Intelligence and Security, and program advisor for the Department of State, revealed details that have sparked intense discussion about government secrecy, UFOs, and the risks whistleblowers face. So Brown's journey to becoming a whistleblower began when he stumbled across what he described as clearly misfiled documents labeled under the 2018 Shriver War Games, a routine military exercise simulating future conflict scenarios. Among these files was a PowerPoint presentation that caught his attention, not because it stood out initially. War Games briefs, he noted, are often pretty boring, but because of its startling content. The presentation included an image of Lou Elizondo, a known figure in UAP research, and detailed a program called Immaculate Constellation. The initiative initially used artificial intelligence to scour classified U.S. military and intelligence servers, collecting images and data on UFO and UAP encounters, including crash retrievals and reverse engineering efforts. Brown's discovery suggested a decades-long operation hidden from elected officials, raising serious questions about transparency and constitutional oversight. The interview delves into Brown's motivations and the personal toll of his decision to go public. He expressed deep reluctance, stating, "This is absolutely what I did not want to do," and described sacrificing the future he had to build for himself and his potential family. His decision was driven by a sense of duty to expose what he sees as a dangerous lack of accountability. Brown recounted attempts to report his findings through official channels, only to face repeated roadblocks. He followed a methodical by the book process, including submitting his materials for pre-publication review at the State Department, which did not object. Yet he feared severe repercussions, not just legal prosecution, but what Corbell described as weaponized bureaucracy, targeted investigation, and character assassination that could dismantle a whistleblower's life. One of the most compelling moments in the interview came when Brown described a specific incident detailed in the Immaculate Constellation report. He recounted an event where a U.S. submersible vehicle observed Russian ships in the ocean, seemingly waiting for something. Suddenly, a large black triangle, UFO, possibly one of the infamous black triangles, materialized or decloaked directly above the vessels, hovering at about 200 meters. The report noted no visible reaction from the Russian ships, leading Brown to speculate that they had foreknowledge of the UFO's appearance, possibly to collect data or interact with it. This incident, among others, underscores Brown's belief that the program's goal was global UFO surveillance, raising questions about international involvement and control. So, the interview impact lies in its ability to regenerate debate about UAP and UFO disclosure and government transparency. Brown's decision to reveal his identity, as Corbell noted, was both a protective measure and a call to action for Congress and other whistleblowers. Posts on X, including Corbell's own updates, highlighted the anticipation for additional parts of the interview. There will be a third part of this interview that should be launched this week. Whether Immaculate Constellation represents a genuine expose or an elaborate misunderstanding, Brown's testimony has undeniably stirred public and congressional interest, challenging the narrative of what humanity knows and what it has a right to know, and its place in the cosmos.
Well, I think we need to just say a couple things here. Okay. Having somebody come out, the man who brought out Immaculate Constellation to Matthew Schellenberger and to Jeremy Corbell is pretty darn good.
Yeah, no doubt.
Okay. That is a great one. But we also have to realize Immaculate Constellation, from what I heard, no longer exists.
Right.
Because as one insider told me, when they end up going into having one of these programs names that gets leaked, and I apologize if I'm not have the proper words for it, but one of these programs gets leaked, when it happens, immediately they change the name.
Right.
So that way, if somebody starts Googling, let's say you or me start Googling Immaculate Constellation, we're not going to find anything.
Right.
Outside of what was found out from the beginning. So when you have Susan Goff coming in and saying that program doesn't exist, it now doesn't, because maybe it's now, Immaculate Tim and Dave.
Yeah, exactly.
Or another different name under Immaculate or something else. So they immediately change it to end that path of information. It doesn't mean the program doesn't exist anymore, but the renaming of it changes the entire aspect of the investigation.
For sure.
So that way, if somebody from Congress comes in or somebody else with limited powers or limited top secret clearance, well, I don't know what you're talking about. That never existed.
And it's so easy. It seems that they can scrub that stuff away like,
oh yeah,
right. It blows my mind. I can't get stuff off my computer screen.
No, that's very, very true.
Yeah.
And the other thing with Matthew Brown, he joins a list of names. The question is, how public will he go? Is this a one and done, or is this just something that is going to continue the ball rolling, and you will see him joining groups as well. You know, Nicole Sackage put it pretty funnily today when I know funnily isn't a word. Where did that even come from?
I like it.
Put some humor in it today. Why is it that every whistleblower now needs a 3-part series? That's the new standard, the new norm, a 3-part series with a whistleblower.
Right. I never thought of it that way. Yeah, that's brilliant, actually. She's bang on with that.
All right, we got 6 minutes left.
All right. Well, here's one that's a little bit of the weirdo file. So, the alien phone booth of England. So, Warminster, a small town in England, was ground zero for a wave of UFO sightings in the 60s and 70s, but one encounter stands out for its sheer absurdity. So, in 1967, a local man named Arthur Shuttlewood, a newspaper reporter and enthusiastic UFO hunter, claimed he was contacted by aliens through a phone booth. So, according to Shuttleworth, he was walking home late one night when a nearby phone booth started ringing. Despite it being in the middle of nowhere, he answered it. On the other end was a deep, robotic-sounding voice that introduced itself as Carney, an extraterrestrial from the planet Anistria.
First name Mark?
No, not that one. Just Carney. So Carney told Shuttleworth that he and his crew were orbiting Earth and monitoring human activity. Shuttleworth, undeterred by the bizarre nature of the call, decided to ask some journalistic questions. He asked Carney why they were contacting him specifically. Carney said they had chosen him because he was a man of peace, and they needed to warn humanity of its dangerous path. The absurdity didn't end there. Shuttlewood, determined to prove the call was real, dragged some friends to the phone booth the next night. Sure enough, it rang again. This time, the voice claimed to be Crescent, another alien from Anistria. Crescent rambled on about dangers of nuclear war and the importance of recycling, which seemed like oddly mundane advice for an interstellar visitor. Shuttlewood later told the press about his otherworldly phone calls, and the story spread quickly. Some people believed him, but most thought it was a prank or that Shuttlewood was losing it. The phone booth became a local landmark, and people flocking to hoping to get a call from Carney or Crescent. The best part, Shuttlewood insisted the aliens said they would return in 1980 to deliver a special message to humanity. The year came and went with no cosmic phone call, leaving Shuttlewood and his phone booth looking a little more ridiculous, but no less enthusiastic about the aliens' visits.
Can you even find a phone booth anymore?
I don't think so. I think Jim said there was one out in the middle of the desert somewhere with a light over it the other night, didn't he?
I know on a lot of American highways, they still have them.
Yeah.
In case of breakdown or...
Well, smart.
Yeah.
Smart.
But imagine picking up the phone and having something alien happen.
Yeah.
Had it happen once.
Oh, that's right.
Yes. With Olaf Phillips. This was a couple years ago.
Mm-hmm.
To this day, it still blows my mind that happened. But it really goes to show that how extraordinary a lot of these stories are.
Yeah.
Phone booths, cars being pulled over.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just a bedtime trauma anymore, people.
No, they'll even give you pancakes.
I wish. I'm pretty particular on my pancakes.
I love pancakes.
I love pancakes too, but I like the thin ones. I don't like the thick ones that eat up all the syrup.
Yeah, no. Oh, no.
No.
Okay, I got you.
I don't like those, you know, them big giant flapjacks, you know. And
use half a bottle of syrup on and there's nothing left.
I don't like those. And then the syrup gets cold in the pancake.
Yeah.
And then it's no. Now they got to be like the thin wafer pancakes.
Yeah, where the butter just melts right on.
I don't butter mine.
You're weird.
You're weird. I put a lot of syrup on though.
I put peanut butter on
every now and again if I'm having a fat day, which right now seems to be quite a few. But when I get pancakes, sometimes I'll even, you know, put a little smile on my face, put a little icing sugar on there too.
Oh,
put the syrup, good, like real maple syrup.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And then a little bit of icing sugar on there.
Okay.
Oh,
yeah.
It's good.
Oh.
Not gonna lie. And now I'm probably gained 3 pounds
just thinking about it.
Just thinking about that. And I know this because my mouth is watering just talking
I'm
about it.
thinking the same thing. Oh, yes.
So I did, I'll tell you. So we got about 2 minutes to go.
Okay.
I decided for Mother's Day that I would make a big dinner.
Mm.
So I made steak,
Mm-hmm.
barbecued it,
Nice.
ran out of propane just in time.
Course.
Just in time. No, because I'm a medium rare guy.
Me too.
Yeah. And I ran out at literally the 3rd minute
Perfect.
on the second side.
All right. Okay.
Because, it's 5 and 3.
Yep.
5 and 3. If you want to cook or barbecue the best medium rare steak, 5 minutes on one side, 3 minutes on the other,
Mm-hmm.
cut it open. It is perfect every time.
Mm.
Yeah. And I bought some crab legs, some king crab legs.
Oh, yeah.
And the bags are about, I don't know, a foot, 18 inches long.
Yeah.
Well, my son, he downed 2 of the 3 bags.
Oh, my gosh.
He was hungry.
Yeah.
He pigged out.
No doubt.
I looked at him and I said, you going to share? He's like, I'm just enjoying eating them, Dad. I'm just enjoying eating them. And I'm looking at him and like, okay, that's about $70 in crab he just ate.
Yep.
And I'm like, oh, what the hell? Go for it, kiddo.
Absolutely.
Go for it. Pig out.
Absolutely.
So, yeah, it was kind of funny because he had this big stack of crab legs and he's going through shucking every one of them, right?
Good for
And then he
him.
leaves me the knuckles. He's like, I don't like those knuckle pieces. Like
Hmm.
that's where most of the meat is hidden.
Yeah, that's
you know?
right.
No, don't like the knuckle pieces.
Get
I
the
like legs.
nutcracker.
Now, the good part is they cut them.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. That's right.
They cut them, so all you got to do is pry them open. Yeah. Oh, I like a good crab leg.
Me too.
Yeah.
I know you're out there somewhere. This is the totalitarian state. 1,000 eyes are waiting for you to break. Stay in line, don't make a mistake. We're watching.
Perfect. Oh, don't have to edit out any shits either.
No, it was a shit-free night tonight.
Yeah.
Good
Uh-huh.
job, SOR.
No doubt.
What's the date today?
It's
14th.
14th. Yeah.
14/25. 10 days till my birthday. What do you get me?
Well,
Apparently, my other friends are doing a ghost tour.
oh, I know, right? Yeah.
All right.
Do, 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 do. You just talk about those crab legs now. Damn it.
You know what I am excited about?
What are you excited about?
I am excited about taking our audience along that journey, man.
Yeah. I
really am excited about that.
definitely a different angle on the show for sure.
Oh yeah. Well, to the channel at least.
Mm-hmm.
I am so pumped up to bring that all to you guys.
Yeah. Yes, sir. She's going to be a beaut, Clark.
Dude. I just wonder how the phenomena will react to us.
Time will tell, as long as we've got good energy. I'm thinking, well, I think what we put out is what we get back.
Yeah, the problem is the phenomena already knows.
True. Yep, it's going to be interesting. I'm looking forward to it, that's for sure.
Curious to see how long we're going to be out there.
You know how long we're going to be out there? As long as we are.
And that's the truth. How long are you going to be out there? As long as we are.
Yep.
It's kind of like, what's the password for?
What's it?
Exactly. What's the password for? Ed Zachary.
Mm-hmm. Definitely. Oh, I'm not looking forward to bean counters tomorrow.
Bean counters are not fun.
No. They remind me of engineers. Not train engineers either. It all looks good on paper. Practically.
It always looks good on paper.
Yeah, but practicality wise, nope.
Oh, I hear you. I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
Nothing done yet.
I don't know.
I have no idea. It's done.
Neither do I. Well, it should have a good night tonight with the beard trim and the new.
Yeah. Should be able to maybe breathe a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm going to go back to my nose pedals.
Yeah. Mine, I find when I first start out, it feels like I'm, oh my God. I don't. Am I getting oxygen? You are, but it's just.
I always test myself with the.
Yeah, I do
opening
too.
the mouth. I'm sure it's going in because you can't feel it.
No,
you don't feel air.
No, you don't. That's the. But if I'll do that too, or I'll keep my mouth closed and I'll open up the back of my throat, and it's like look like a puffer fish.
Right. Right.
Yeah, definitely better though. I didn't even realize how bad it what the difference would be.
I told you you'd feel different immediately.
Yeah, it took me a bit, but yeah, I can definitely tell there's a huge difference now.
Do you feel good inside now?
I feel warm and fuzzy.
Oh, my stomach's just.
Yeah, because you ate that.
Yeah, I'm not going back there. Said to the missus afterwards, I said, let's not do that again.
Yeah.
It seemed like such a good idea.
Yeah.
Oh, now it's just not a good idea.
I've heard some stuff about that place, but I'm not going to get into it. They went from really, let's just put it this way. They went from really good to,
That their employee standards have anything to do with it?
Oh, yeah. Heard about that too.
Yeah.
But allegedly. Okay, squirrely Dan. Allegedly.
Tony, how can I use the password wisely? Very carefully.
That's it.
It's not like a USB cord that you have to turn 18 times on either side before you finally get it in. Not like that. My recommendation would be to go to our Spaced Out Radio store, get yourself an Alien Lube t-shirt, and then once you're lubed up, then try to use the password wisely. That's probably the best way I can say it.
I think you nailed her.
Yeah, I think that's the best way. But who am I?
You're Dave.
Apparently.
We're not going to say the name of the place, J. Truth Seeker. It's a local place up here. If that's what you're asking, that's, yeah.
Yeah.
No, Hillbilly Herb's got it. Squirrely Dan. Allegedly's.
Always got to have an allegedly in there.
Yep.
Any questions before we call it the night here? Any questions? PRM, how are you? Yes. From one of my sources, that story is apparently 100% true. That
Doty?
That Doty was allegedly going to work with Lou on disinfo.
Oh, right. Yeah, I saw that.
Allegedly. Yeah.
Now,
we know Lou worked for Space Force.
Yeah.
We know he allegedly got fired because his employment was supposed to be secret until Danny Sheehan accidentally let the cat out of the bag there. And Lou ended up apparently losing his job over it, his contract over it.
Right.
Mr. Cowley, welcome back to the show.
Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, Mr. Cowley loves his Spaced Out Radio. I forget who the listener was that was absolutely ragging on me for singing that.
Oh, right. Yeah. No longer a listener.
Yeah, I haven't seen him in the chat room in months.
No.
It's weird because every few months you see a rotation of the regulars. Remember I told you? You see a rotation of the regulars and all of a sudden they all come back.
Yep.
And then they disappear again and they all come back. Very few have stayed for a long time. Joe Monk is probably our longest.
Right.
Along with Susan.
Right.
Joe's been like 9 years.
Jeez. Were you 12 or something back then?
Well, long time ago, man.
That's right.
Long time ago.
Oh.
Yeah. I love the fact Joe hated me at first. Hated me. He thought I was just terrible till I proved him wrong. Joe, take your camera. Take a picture. What do you see, buddy? There's alien eyes or Bigfoot eyes standing in the trees right there. He just about crapped his pants. I love that moment. That was my middle finger to Joe.
That's the Atodaso.
He loved me ever since. Yep. Deb comes in. Zaname. And her lovely violin. Do you play violin? I love the sound of the violin. My hidden love is for like Baroque music. Love Baroque.
Oh, okay.
Classical.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So great. I would say one of my dream concerts would be to go see Andre Rieu.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be great.
No kidding.
Is that his name?
I know who you're talking about. I'm pretty sure that's it.
Yeah, Andre Rieu.
Mm-hmm.
I would love to see him in concert. It would be amazing. I mean, when you see his concert and you see people of all ages, like with tears on their eyes because music is impacting them
Yeah.
that much,
Mm-hmm.
you know, and there's no horns up at all. It's
Yeah.
kind of weird.
Yeah, right. No lighters, no
Yeah.
no clouds of smoke from the audience.
No. I would love to see him perform.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I don't think he often comes to North America though.
Well, maybe not. Probably by special invitation or something, but have you noticed that the camera has been moving?
Is it twisting again?
Yep. All of a sudden I'm like, why am I over there? It doesn't matter.
We got to fix that.
Yeah. We're going to put some tape underneath it, or I'll
Okay.
just sit like this leaning.
Yeah, you could. Let's prefer the tape.
Yeah, I think so too.
Yeah, I'll prefer the tape. Yeah, Bombshell Bomber, you've been here a while. I owe her a jacket.
Oh.
I owe her a jacket
Mhm.
and a t-shirt.
Yeah.
I still haven't forgotten. She thinks I've forgotten, but I haven't forgotten.
Yeah.
So I got this ripped up, torn, ratty jacket that I used to wear, like going for firewood and everything.
Yeah.
You know, the one that you just can't throw away.
Oh yeah, I got a few of them.
Yeah. She asked me for it, and I said, okay. I still have it. See, she goes to the chat. Remember, I just said she thinks I don't remember?
Yeah.
She goes, and a t-shirt, Dave.
Yeah, Dave.
Yeah. I do have to send her that jacket. She really wants that jacket.
And she's been more than patient by the
More
sound
than
of it.
patient. And I will be honest with you. I am horrible for getting back to people.
Mm,
You know that.
yeah. Well, I'm not much better. Well, I'm not good at answering right away. Always has my phone's always on freaking silent. Then I'll go, oh, Dave texted. Call me right away. That was 2 hours ago. Shit. Ah, I can edit that one.
Don't have to edit.
I know. I'm just
I may have to edit you going about to blow up on the Oilers winning tonight.
yeah.
Oh man, you got my death glare on that.
I know. Shut up. Sorry, sir.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Yeah, you can't do that. That's right. I know that.
Yeah. Dude, I'm so excited for this weekend.
No kidding. Me too.
Oh man, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be absolutely awesome.
Mm-hmm. Who do we got on tomorrow night?
It should be a good one.
They're all good ones, man.
Is that number 4 or 5? Hold on. Yeah, it's number 5. Who is on tomorrow?
I'm having a look now.
Alan Greenfield.
Oh, right on.
Yep. Alan Greenfield.
Cool.
It'll be good.
And it's Dave 101 night tomorrow night.
Yeah.
Gotta love it.
Wonder what I'll talk about tomorrow.
Oh, you'll come up with something, I'm sure.
Last week's was one of my favorite ones that I've done.
Mm-hmm. It's a lot of fun. It sounds funny, but do that abbreviated UFO report tomorrow night. But yeah, as soon as I get off the air, I stretch out on the couch down in the man cave, and it's like, okay, what's he gonna rant about? I love it.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I still want to add a section by pet peeve of the day. Once I'm doing this full time.
Yeah.
I'm going to add a pet peeve of the day.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Just to kind of change it up a little bit. Let's make sure. See how beautiful this sounds?
Yeah.
It's beautiful.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. Pisses me off that that doesn't translate onto YouTube.
No, I hear you.
Oh, man. Hey, Noble Patrick, you know what? We're not like other shows out there where, oh, we don't have a guest. We just got to shut down for the night. We don't have a, and I'm not saying that to insult other shows.
No.
You know, because when you lose a guest, you know, it's funny. We had our team meeting the other day, and Tim and I kind of we didn't argue, but we got a little heated about it.
Yeah.
When you miss a guest or you don't hear from a guest, even if it's like Science Bob, who is Mr. Consistency, okay, you really don't know how much that affects everything because it throws everything off. You know?
Yeah.
You know, it literally throws everything off because all day you've been prepping for that guest. Okay, whether it's, hey, Randolph, how you doing? Whether it's research, whether it's notes, whether it's getting updates on X or whatever, you know, and with my daytime job now and the new ownership the last almost a year, I can't do the research that I normally would. So I have to, you know, sneak outside and, you know, sneak out of my office and check my phone on X and see what's going on, right? But it really throws you for a loop. So I could see where a lot of podcasters are like, you know, we don't have a backup plan.
Yeah.
And so I'm going to, you know, just cancel the show for tonight. Not us. I am. Tim understands because I've said this before. There should always be a show on SOR.
Yeah.
There should always be a show for you guys to listen to. And our radio stations count on it.
Oh, yeah.
Our audience, such as you guys, count on it. And if I can't do a show, and there has been nights power goes out. Or whatever. Excuse me. I feel like crap. Like those 5 days in Vegas where we did no shows, it's nice to be able to take a break.
Sure.
But not doing it, it really, really affects me.
Yes.
Because you get into a routine. And like I said to Tim in Vegas, you know, one of the things that I miss is the people. You know, I mean, I know there's way more people than just you guys in the YouTube chat who are listening every night because I see the numbers.
Oh, yeah.
Right. But I can say this. I really miss the communication with you guys and you guys being there. Like the YouTube audience is like a backbone of support.
For sure. Even when we came, like you say, when we came back from Vegas and it was our first night back on, when I was back in with you, it was like, like something felt, well, not something, it felt totally right. It felt like, okay, we're rocking again. And yeah, you feel like you're delivering, I guess. Yeah, I missed it.
Oh, for sure. For sure. On that note, everybody, we will see you tomorrow night. Thank you, little Timmy James.
Thank you, Mr. Dave
Appreciate
Scott.
it. Thank you to our super chatters, Tim, Kitty Caddywhack ×2, T-Bone ×2, Fast Hemi, Walter, Noble Patrick, Blue Cruise, Zen 2, Ozzy Ange, and Zaname. We love you all. And we'll see you tomorrow, everybody. Thank you for the love.
Stay healthy, my friend.
You too.
If you need bail money, give me a call.
Always, Dad. Take care.
You too.